Yellow internet.
Last, we left off. You're making your way towards Anatole, the hag that made you very upset with her via torture and depression and hunger and starvation. The evil deeds of an evil person or creature. Some time has passed since then as you trek out of Mirladar with the notion of getting your revenge. As a sidetrack quest, your main quest being to visit Beaton, to check and to see what the situation is there. But hey, on the way, why can't we kill a hag is kind of where the party's at. Making your way through the woods and the trees and a couple of illusions here and there, you find yourself ambushed by blue scales, these lizard folk that charge in through the brush. A fight ensued that led to your victory. -1, who, in a desperate attempt to vacate the premise, casts plant growth. And not only did they cast that spell, they casted it center pointed on your cart, which is now completely overtaken by trees, weeds, and brush. The vines of some of these trees, vines, and brush actually protrude through your dead goat and kind of wrap around it, kind of peeling it apart as these plants just grow really big, really fast. Canopy of your cart torn asunder through obvious reasons. Carl inside the cart screaming, "Ah!" Unfortunately, the plant is so thick here and the vegetation is so thick, you can only hear him. You can't quite see him. And unfortunately, his voice also sounds to be very, very, very muffled. Many of you also within this would have to contend with wrappings and vines and trees literally being thrown into the most lush and thickest vegetation you've ever seen in your lives. Movement is extremely hard here, and trying to break yourself free or try to wiggle out proves to be a task, especially for those with gear on that doesn't tend to bend or ripple or fold easily. And that's where we left off on our last session, which is where we will pick up. So, as the sounds of brush, of something running through it, faintly dissipate into the distance, the sky begins to open up and a rain begins to fall, a light rain that seems to kind of be broken by the canopy above you of this wild growth. And slowly, as the leaves start to accumulate condensation and precipitation, bigger drops would occasionally plink off of your head. The air here smells very sweet and jungle-like, really earthy. For some very pleasing. For others, more of an inconvenience. Alexia, you being wrapped up. Let me not use the word wrapped up. You being completely engulfed in thick vegetation, some of thorn, some of branch, some of bark. You find it very difficult to move, and your robes are kind of caught on some vegetation as you kind of squirm a little bit to the left and right just to kind of get a bearing of what's happening here. You hear a slight tear in your robe.
Who's Alexia?
Kane, right? Yeah.
This is for Alexia. Yeah. Oh, shit,
No.
Kane, sorry.
Wrong
My
Kane.
bad. I thought today was Monday.
Now you know how Raz feels every Tuesday when he gets called Asher.
Oh my god. I'm totally... Dude, I'm so overwhelmed with these tables that I swear to fuck I thought it was Monday. Wow.
I knew you were talking about me. I was just... I decided to wait.
Oh, that was funny. So Kane, same shit. but you hear some of your articles of clothing kind of tear a little bit.
Fuck. Alright. Time to do this like we did on the farm. Starts chopping away with his sword just to cut through the high grass.
Absolutely. As you unsheath your sword, which once again proves to be a challenge, it's doable. It just, takes a little finagling, a little finesse, and at first, your blade is just kind of close to your body, and you just kind of like using your shoulder to lean into the flat portion, and you kind of start hearing snap and pop, and slowly cutting away of these tight, twisted bramble, and giving yourself a little bit more wiggle room each time you make a pass. Eventually getting your arm free enough to do some free swinging. Give me a nature check, Kane.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys roll better than yesterday.
Yeah, I was watching that. Or Wednesday.
Apparently not.
Nope. Well, I'd rather get it out of the way now than it be on something.
100%.
The Tuesday table trying to wake up Khajiit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this week has been a really bad week for rolls in general, just for the record. A lot of ones, a lot of twos. Anyway, so you peel your blade through and you're cutting through and you kind of get stuck a little bit and you pull it away and the vines kind of snap and your full momentum goes into a brush that's on your right hand side. This brush is kind of like red leaves, like a semi-glossy red leaf. And it's got these little red berries underneath it as your arm kind of swings through it and you continue to like chop through. Let's go to Useless.
I'm going to was just a little bit behind the cart, so I'm going to try and cut my way into it. Check on Carl Winslow and the Goblin Prisoner, as well as the cart
similar
itself.
scenario, right? So this vegetation is once again you're basically a useless burrito at this moment. You know what I mean? So it's going to take time to wiggle free. However, you do hear Carl, "Boss! Boss!" And it's kind of a muffled sound.
Yeah, I'm coming, Carl. Make sure the Goblin doesn't get away.
I need you! I can't even see the goblin. Help me! I can't move.
Working on it.
Please hurry. It hurts. Ow! You hear a meowing also echoing and resonating inside where Carl is at, which takes us now to Grognar. Once again, similar situation.
Grognar's tempted to just slash and burn everything. Yeah, he'll just start swinging his short sword and long sword around.
Absolutely. And once again, true to form, I know there's not many options here, but the same thing, it takes time to wiggle it and get free. This is a rough situation. It's very, very, very thick vegetation. Having been put in this scenario in real life, I have a story for you at some point. Remind me to tell you an embarrassing, funny story about Puerto Rico. Nevertheless, as we continue, Thalia, you are in pretty rough situation here as your armor doesn't flex to this vegetation and it kind of pins you together. Movement here is probably more extreme for you than anyone else in the party at this moment as you see some leaves and brush coming inside of your face mask.
Can I still breathe at least?
Oh yeah, this is not
Okay.
it's not that tight. It's tight, but it's not that tight. You literally have leaves tickling your nose.
So can I like remove it?
I mean, you could definitely try. It'll take longer for you, and we're not gonna have to roll for that. I mean, you're not in a pretty threatened scenario. You're just in a predicament, essentially. But yeah, no,
Okay.
you can absolutely do it. It'll take you longer as you squirm, absolutely, unless you have something you wish to contribute to the action of trying to get out.
I don't.
Unless they're afraid of light.
Unless they're afraid of light.
Yes.
So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna attempt to try to try to get all the leaves and plant vegetation out of my armor and shit.
Absolutely. As you lift your right hand to grab the brush and bramble from your face mask, you feel as if you have vines that have also grown under your gauntlets and that kind of slide out. You feel it rubbing against your skin as you kind of peel away, and you continue to try to just kind of brute force your way out of this thick vegetation that canopies above. You hear the raindrops from the canopy here kind of tinking off of your armor as the rain begins to also pick up, which now takes us to Asher.
Asher is first gonna mumble to himself, I wanted to be back in nature, but this is a little fucking much. And I had my short sword in my hand whenever all this happened, so
Yep.
I'm just gonna start cutting away at stuff, and I'm gonna yell as loud as I can to Carl and check on the cat, and just yell out to him, "Is the cat okay?"
I can't see him. He crawled away. I can't grab him.
Fuck. All right.
I hear
once
him. He
get
couldn't
enough-
have gone far.
All right, Carl. I'm trying to get to you. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep cutting, and I'll pull. Like, I've got a dagger at my back too, so with my free hand, I'll pull my dagger and
My
start
season.
trying to, machete my way through.
Absolutely. And like I said, true to form. I know it sounds like a broken record. It takes time. It's doable. It's just not something that's going to happen in like 10, 15 minutes. We're talking like a full-on 30, 40 minutes to do all this.
I was close to the goat that was still alive. Can I see it?
I
think it
would
was, like, one
say
space away from
you
it.
can hear it bleeding, bleating, not bleeding, bleating.
Yeah.
And I would say with a couple of swipes, you'll see fur. Sure.
You have him there?
Okay.
All right. I would just cut like a little bit to where I can at least see it, and then keep going back
Sure.
towards the end of the.
Absolutely. You use it as a guide to get you to where you need to go.
And is our, like, as I'm getting closer to the wagon, is the wagon like destroyed with all this plant? I know you said it grew through it, so.
You wouldn't know until you get to the wagon.
Okay, that's why I asked. As
Yep.
I got close to the wagon, I'd like to check if it's destroyed.
Yep, and we'll get there. We'll get there little by little. Now, the closest to the back of the cart would be Eustace at this point. Eustace, you chop and cut for about 10, 15 minutes. You hear the sounds of blades cutting and chopping as well, echoing, or at least the ambient sound. You could hear other teammates of yours doing the same action you are. As you chop, you hear clunk as you hear your sword kind of chop into the back of the wagon. As you realize what you're looking at, the back of the wagon, it's fully overgrown. It's like someone grew a full-on weed bush right in the back. It's just super thick. And you see like you remember in the scene of Jurassic Park where the raptor's in the bush and the bush moves? That's kind of what
Yep.
that's kind of what you see, and you realize it's Carl trying to move out and break himself free.
I'm gonna help Carl get out.
You gotta get in here. It's wrapped around my leg, sir.
I'm gonna go. Can I see the goblin?
Not yet.
All right, I'm gonna have I'm gonna put my mage. I can't trip my mage hand out and try to help me put stuff away as I'm just gonna keep on, carefully cutting my way forward.
You do so, and eventually, after another 5-10 minutes or so, you swing, and vines and bush snap and spread apart, revealing Carl, who's like literally like wrapped up in this awkward pose, just stuck. His apron's kind of lifted around and twisted, and it's kind of hung around his neck a little bit because he wears his apron. So he's literally, if he moves, he chokes himself. So he looks at you and he's like, "A little help, boss?"
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna. What am I gonna do? I don't want to use my shadow blade for that. I'm gonna. Oh, I have a dagger. I'm gonna use the dagger to kind of precision cut him out.
Yeah, and you do so. As you're cutting, from underneath his back, you see a small cat begin to kind of walk out towards the back of the cart.
I'm gonna have my mage hand grab it.
Okay, you mage hand grab it by the scruff, and you just hold it in the air for a little bit. At the same time, you would hear in the front of the cart chopping, and you would hear Asher calling out to anyone that's inside the cart.
I got your cat, Asher, and I got Carl, but I can't see the goblin anywhere.
All right, I'm headed towards the front. I'll see if I can climb up and look.
This cart's total, by the way. We're on foot.
Joy.
See if the goat's salvageable.
One of the goats is still alive, and we have the traveling saddle stuff that we bought, so we'll at least be able to turn one of the goats into a pack mule. Or a pack goat, I guess? I don't fucking know.
Grognar, you would be able to hack your way, as you were, I believe, towards the back of the cart as well. You would hack your way into the trail that fate has cut open, which makes your passage a little bit easier. You would be able to see... Did I say fate? You would be able to see Eustace's back inside the cart from here as you're kind of... It's still a thick brush, but at least now it's kind of cut. And you kind of hear him shouting towards Asher on the other side.
I just keep going on, just kind of quiet.
Okay. As you continue to do that, Kane, you make yourself about to the side of the cart. The canopy is ripped and torn and shredded. You see leaves and brush moving from the inside of this cart, and you would also hear everyone basically discussing what they're discussing.
Oh, this cart's fucked. Y'all see the goblin?
No, I haven't found your friend yet.
Asher, roll me
Out
an
of character,
investigation.
I have a head cold.
That's fine.
That's why I sound fucking weird.
Probably got it from that date.
12. Well, considering she stood me up, I doubt it.
So with a 12, as you're chopping and cutting, you see a goblin hand sticking out of some twisted vine.
Uh-oh.
I poke it with my sword. Does it seem like it's limp?
You poke it with your sword, and it pulls back abruptly, screaming, "Ah!"
I say it in Goblin to get the fuck out if it can.
He would reply in Goblin, "If I could have, you wouldn't have found me. Now,
We'll
get
see
me out of
about
this
that.
shit."
Careful, I might, slip and stab you.
If you
I'm
wanted
having
me
this
dead, you
conversation.
would have killed me already.
And I'm slicing through the vines to get to him.
You slice a little bit here, a little bit there, freeing up a leg and his bottom half. Eventually,
If I see his leg, I'm nicking his calf on purpose. Like, not enough to hurt him, but enough to just make him go like,
he would cuss at you as a result, saying "fucking pay attention" kind of situation. Eventually, freeing him from the bramble, he sits up.
I immediately hit him in the top of the head with the pommel of my short sword.
Dude, this thing is gonna die of concussion, dude.
Brain damage. 1 second here. Let me take a look.
Listen, she didn't say they had to be functional. They just had to be alive.
Yep.
So,
We were told bring back 5 live things.
So what I'd like you to do is roll me an attack, because this goblin realizes he's on a one-on-one situation. He's sitting up and he has his legs free, so he will try to dodge you. So go ahead and roll me an attack.
Like a straight short sword attack?
Absolutely.
Ugh, a nat 1. Fuck. For
As
an
you
8.
swing with your sword, it...
Wait,
What?
I have inspiration, I think. Oh, no, I don't. I used that for leveling up.
As you go to swing, you accidentally clip some of the brush and bramble behind you, and you slip off, and your sword stuck in the tree behind you. This goblin would jump up and take this opportunity to slip past you. I'm going to give you 1 reaction and only one reaction as he passes through your attack of opportunity.
All right. I still have a dagger. I'm wondering if I should try and stab him or trip him. Can I try and
this is a
grapple him?
reaction, so we're talking. This is happening at the same time that you missed. So unsheathing, pulling out a dagger.
Well, no, I said I had the dagger in my offhand. I was using my dagger and my short sword to cut through. Could I try? I don't know if this works like this. Could I try and grapple him as a reaction? Like seeing that my sword got stuck and then try and dive on him.
To be fair,
if not, that's fine.
I'm thinking it's clever. I'm cool. I'm willing to work with it. So let me give me a second to ponder. I'm thinking it's your offhand. I'll let you attempt to do a grapple at a disadvantage because of the nature of the situation, and it's your offhand. But I'm also going to give the goblin advantage because it's just a reaction, not a full action.
Okay.
So if you wish to give that a try, you're more than welcome to.
Or I can just try and stab him with the dagger.
Or you can try to stab him with the dagger.
I'll just try and stab him with the dagger. Yeah. So, let me... So whenever I try and do this with the offhand, I take my...
It's just your straight roll. You don't gain your proficiencies or anything.
Okay.
Unless you have the two weapon fighting.
No, I thought you still got your
No.
proficiency. You're
It's
proficient with the weapon.
he doesn't get his ability
Dex.
damage to the modifier to the damage modifier.
I still get the proficiency modifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, let's double check that. Let's consult the Google. Offhand attack weapon becomes a bonus action, and your attack modifier to the attempt. So yes, you still add your attack modifier to the attempt. Your attack modifier. I don't think that is your proficiency bonus. Actually, yes, because your attack modifier. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Do it to it.
Okay, so I still get like the +3 for my proficiency.
Yep. Roll damage.
22.
Yep, roll damage.
For 8 damage.
Let me just make sure that doesn't... What's the +4 modifier? That's dex, so it's just 4 damage.
Okay, sorry, 4 damage, yeah.
4 damage with a creature that's already been subdued. As you... He's kind of...
I'm not trying to kill him.
You just stabbed him, bro. You just stabbed him. You used a dagger.
Yeah.
You stab him square in the belly, and he keels over for 4 slashing damage.
I still have a spell slot left. If he's like... I'll hit him with Cure Wounds, but I'm going to start trying to tie him up. Or, no, I can't, because I don't have any rope on me. We used my rope to tie him up. I will still use a spell slot to Cure Wounds him, so that way he doesn't die.
Okay,
but
that's fair. Sure.
Asher, you are surrounded by very large strands of grass.
Yeah, I'm going to use
BT dubs.
vine. Yeah, I could use vine to try and tie him.
Alright, so you stab him, and as he kind of keels over and begins to bleed, you take quick action and heal his wound to prevent
For 8.
to prevent the bleed from being mortal. As he definitely appears to be very much unconscious. Let me roll a d4. Oh yeah, he's sleeping.
Awesome. I'm gonna use some vines, and I'll even be nice and like knock the thorns off of him and tie him up.
Sure, you do.
With
So
the
these
vine.
vines are green enough that they're quite flexible, and you wrap them up pretty good. Which takes us to Kane, not Kane, we have Thalia. As you break most of your armor free, you have a little bit of wiggle room. What does Thalia wish to take care of or do?
If I have wiggle room, I think it's time to start pulling out my sword and clearing out my own little area here until.
Absolutely.
Do we know that the like in character, do we know that the magic will eventually wear off and things will become normal again?
Well, fortunately, out of character, I actually did my research on this spell, and the magic isn't the plant life. The magic is what makes the plant life grow. The plant life is a permanent fixture of this world.
Okay. So do we
Until
know
it
that?
dies.
Do you know that? Are you proficient with any kind of arcana or druidic magic?
I am proficient with nature and
Sure.
survival.
Roll a nature. That sounds cool. This is nature like.
An 8.
You know, these trees and vines, they seem to be legitimately real to you.
Actually, you know what? I have a hatchet.
Okay.
I'm gonna use that to clear out my area.
Okay. You start hacking away at chunks of vine and bramble. You hear the commotion still coming on, kind of resonating near you as you're not that far away from the cart. You actually hear shing, 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 other people cutting through brush and bramble. Is there anything you wish to
Right.
contribute to the conversation, or is Thalia just maintaining her own?
Maintaining her own.
Fair enough. All right. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward 30 minutes. Everyone's... go ahead.
After Kane found the card, he'd be looking for the lizard folk he knocked out.
Yes, the lizard folk you knocked out would absolutely be back as you backtrack and you try to, like, cut through. Roll me an investigation, please. This vegetation is awfully disorienting, but you make your way through, and as you hack around in a circle and you kind of spread out that circle little by little like a search party, you do come across a knocked out, blue-scaled lizard folk who still seems to be very much knocked out.
Kane will use his rope to bind it and drag his ass back to the cart.
He's still very much covered up in a bunch of vegetation. If you wish to take a few turns to cut him free, then you'll be able to drag. Okay. Let's say you'll take 18 minutes
Okay.
to cut this dude free to get done what you want to get done. So that being said, let's fast forward 45 minutes instead of 30. As 45 minutes elapses, everyone has found their way to the cart. The center of the cart having been cleared out, the canopy kind of torn to shreds. Some of the planks in this cart have been pulled apart by natural growth. Well, unnatural growth, but natural growth, just in a very fast way. As the boards are split apart in some cases here, one of the wheels have been pulled apart and shattered, as the cart still kind of maintains its, as if it had 4 wheels. It's just one of them's broken, and the brambles just holding it all up together. I mean, you guys are pretty much all in the same area, man, so you're welcome to have that open dialogue.
Oh,
Alright, guys. We ain't getting this cart out of here.
nope.
Now, have we done an inventory on our stuff? And seeing Kane with his lizard folk now, Asher's going to shove like the goblin towards him and say, "Keep better track of your pets."
Where's that kitten you've been taking
It's
around
right
with
there.
you?
And I point at the cat.
Who's still in the mage hand by the scruff
Yeah.
of its neck.
I'm gonna grab the cat with the mage hand. Jaeger's fine.
Well, I left the goblin in the back of the wagon, where he's supposed to be.
Well, he wasn't. He was trying to escape, and I found him.
Thank you.
Yeah. Keeping prisoners on a long journey, probably not a smart idea.
Well, we need them to get, if we need them to get out of this deal, which it looks like we do.
We also
Yeah.
know where a massive amount of goblins and orcs and stuff are. We could have gotten hostages later.
We don't know if
Not
they're
when
still
we're
there.
weeks away.
Quick question. Since when did she say that in the deal they had to be humanoid? Couldn't you have just bought animals?
No, they have to be people.
5 for 5. That was the deal.
Yeah. Although I feel like she would appreciate us trying to hand over 5 head of cattle, I don't think she would actually accept it. She'd probably respect the hustle, but not take it.
I only think she would respect the hustle, truth be told.
Eh. I'm gonna start doing an inventory of our shit. What all got destroyed and what all is still there.
I mean, everything's still there. It's just overgrown. In many cases, you're gonna have to, like, if you have an open water barrel, for example, it probably would have spilled over at least most of it. In fact, you know, it did get kicked over. It did spill a little bit. Why don't you roll me a D100? Let's see how much water you lost.
Wouldn't that be covered and like sealed?
Yeah, well, it could have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
51.
So, as you
We
go to
lost.
check the barrel, you see that it's kind of wedged against the side, which could have oblonged the barrel as the top would have popped, or kind of the seal would have kind of unsealed itself a little bit enough that about 51% of your water has dripped out of the barrel.
Well, that's lovely.
Yeah, I don't think we're taking a barrel with us anyway, though.
Yeah.
We legitimately have a saddle to put on the goat that is for carrying. It's a pack saddle. It's meant
It's a
for carrying
barrel.
stuff like this.
But it's a
I mean,
barrel.
They legitimately made pack saddles to carry barrels and other supplies for long journeys. That
Okay.
you couldn't get a wagon through.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I mean, I don't know how liberal Frog's gonna be with it, but those.
I mean,
things
these are
did
goat
exist.
saddles. I'm willing to
Yeah.
work with it.
Yeah. So
Hey, what about the
Question.
food barrel then?
Is the goat just eating the grass around it?
Actually, I would say the goat does not like to be restrained. You guys would have definitely probably tried cutting some of it out at this point, which would have freed it up. But I don't think the goat's in the mood to eat at the moment.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start trying to cut out the saddles, the pack saddle for the goat, and our winter clothes supplies, and just all of our other shit that we had in there. Our
Do we have
food,
tents
everything
too, or did we just get like a tarp or something?
else. No, we just have the covered wagon. We didn't buy
Alright.
tents.
That's okay.
all
I
had
got a
money-
bedroll.
Yeah, all I had money for was winter clothes. Which I mean, you can make a tent out of a cloak. I'll show
Do
you
we want to?
that later.
Do we want to spend time to go loot the lizard that had that cool spear? You might have something. Or do we just keep going forward?
I mean, I'll go get the.
Try.
I'll go see what I can get from the lizard. But
Yeah, it'll take some time for me to rig up this goat and everything, so
all right,
I want to while I'm doing that.
I'll go check on the lizard that had the spear. Try and go loot what I can from it.
Sure,
I'm gonna go with him as well.
sure.
Help
As you
out.
both kind of hack and slash in that general direction that you remember. It'll take about a half hour for you to find the body. Yeah, and true to form, right next to it, there's this spear. The spear itself seems to be a collection of like animal pieces kind of fused together. The trident portion at the top with a spear point, it's like a mini trident in a way with these kind of hooked barbs on the end. It's fairly light. It doesn't seem to have much heft to it, but definitely lethal in the right hands.
See, I'm going to ritual detect magic. Spend like
Sure.
5 minutes doing that, and then we're gonna search his body and all his belongings
Absolutely.
afterwards.
Eustace, you take your time. Kane, you would see Eustace start to chant to himself.
I'll just start patting down the body and see what I can find.
Absolutely. There is this small pouch on the side of this creature's hip.
Grab the pouch, open it up.
You open the pouch. It's twined together by some crude twine. And out pops out what looks to be these little dead mice that just kind of fall into your hand. And it looks to be a good count of approximately 4 mice It looks like these mice have been dead for a couple of days.
Okay, anything else in the pouch?
Nothing outside of what looks like maybe dried leaves that have been crunched and just left inside the pouch. They kind of flake down, but nothing shiny or clingy.
I put the dead mice back in the pouch and think maybe Asher can use this for feed the cat. I don't know. I'll hand it to him when we get back over there.
After you do all that, your detect magic would go off, Eustace. The only thing that glows in your immediate eyesight would be whatever you're wearing that's magical or whatever Kane is wearing that's magical. This spear does not seem to glow.
Unfortunate. Nothing special here. Let's go back.
Okay. I grabbed the spear anyways.
Sure, you absolutely grab the spear. The spear itself, probably 5 feet long to 6 feet long, and it's a decent quality. You know, for being an invention of the lizards, it's surprisingly sturdy.
Okay.
Alrighty, as that's going on, Thalia, you're in the back of the cart or near the back of the cart, and you'd see Carl, you would see Grognar, you would see Asher with his cat.
What time of day is it?
Let's say past noon. Let's say late afternoon.
Past noon. Well, oh, excuse me.
You gonna make it?
I don't know. I'm tired. I'm not sure what to do. I think I'm just gonna kind of. Do I have hit dice? No, I need to take a long rest is what needs to happen for me. I don't know. I'm just helping get things cleared off and making sure the goat's okay. And into the party as a whole.
Fucking
See where they're at.
Stop yawning.
Sorry.
I mean, Asher's sitting at 10 health points, so he feels those yawns.
Which brings us next to Grognar, as you see Thalia, a pretty lady, walking around, well, setting our, cleaning things out, tending to the animal, such and such. What's Grognar doing during this next 30 minutes?
He would continue clearing out as much as he can, trying to free the cart if possible.
Sure. And what about you, Ash?
I know I said I was going to be trying to put the saddle on the goat, and I have a quick question. Can I take a short rest at the same time I'm ritually casting a spell? I don't know if that works.
Rest? No, because the ritual will take action and brain power to do so, which would negate the concept. But you can do them back to back.
Okay, then I'm going to take a short rest real quick just to get off 10 hit points. And then I'm going to go up to the goat, ritually cast my Speak with Animals. And so that way it makes it easier to put the damn saddle on it, hopefully. So
Sure.
I can talk to it.
You cast your Speak with Animals. And this is the goat or the cat, I'm sorry?
The goat. I'm just trying to
So
to
Thalia
talk
would
to
be on
goat.
the other side of the goat with you as you begin to try to put the saddle on this goat. What do you wish to say to the goat?
I'm just going to say to it, hey, buddy, we spoke before. We spoke this morning. I know it's been a rough day, but I'm going to try and get you out of here. I'm going to get you out of this harness. I'm going to put this pack saddle on you, and we're going to be cutting a way out for all of us to get out. It's going to be okay. And I'm going to, scratch him behind the horn like he likes. Yeah.
It would also kind of communicate back to you, gotta run. I gotta run. I need to run. I don't like being still. Run. I need to run.
I understand. We'll get you moving here just as soon as we can, but You got to cooperate with me while I try and put all this saddle on you, and then we can move once we get all this cut out. Okay?
Can I assist
100%.
with an animal handling check?
Absolutely. In fact, why don't you roll your animal handling with advantage as both of you guys are kind of working towards this goal. Look at you. Yeah, getting the saddle on does not prove to be all that difficult. As you strap it all down, get everything together, you start taking supplies out of the back, whatever's salvageable, and try to find places to throw it on the pack of this animal.
All right.
All right, guys. So Kane has come back with a pouch, which he promptly hands over to Asher.
Here's some dead mice. Maybe you can feed it to the cat.
All right, I'll take the pouch and I'll take a look at the mice. Like, how funky do they look?
Not that funky, actually. Maybe
Okay.
2 days down, 2, 3,
Okay,
maybe
so-
ish.
Edible, still, is all I was going.
I mean, in the context of freshness, they're definitely on the fresher side of the equation.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably cook them first before I give them to him. I don't want to get him sick. But I don't even know if he's old enough yet to have meat.
Does he
But
have
we'll
teeth?
try. Do what?
Does he have
Well-
teeth?
Yeah, he's got teeth, but I mean, puppies will still drink milk for a little bit after they have teeth. It's just until their mom kicks them off. So, I mean, I don't know. I'll figure it out tonight.
Sounds like it's
First, we
time
gotta-
for Mom to kick him off then.
Yeah.
Get to it, Asher.
Probably, but I'm gonna try that. That's an event for tonight when we've got clear of this shit. And he gestures to the fucking Amazon that's outside the around him. So we've got this saddle on the goat now, right?
Yeah. I'm going to say all this
All
is
right.
taking place from start to finish, all these little nuances that we're doing. Let's say we'll take about an hour in total.
Okay, then I'm just gonna start trying to load the saddle up with like the barrel, the water barrel, the food barrel, and then like our clothes and everything that was in the cart as much as I can onto this goat without like overloading it.
It's tight. It's really tight, and the packs are really large. I'm going to say it'll slow the goat down. But
Yeah.
you're able to balance most of it.
Okay. I think all we had was like food, water, winter clothes, and some arrows.
Correct. It's not a matter of weight. It's a matter of
Yeah.
how much space it takes.
Yeah, no, I was just making sure I had the inventory right myself. I didn't know if I was forgetting anything.
All right, team, as you guys all hunker down, each of you doing your own thing, what's the plan, guys?
Continue on the beating from here.
You got to cut our way out first.
Oh yeah, but while we're at, we're just gonna start trying to clear a path. That's what Kane's gonna do.
Eustace is gonna tell Carl to when the make sure the living goat can't see the dead goat, but Carl's gonna start making some prepping some steaks here. He's gonna get in there and get those loins going.
From the goat?
Oh God.
He's gonna get his loins going.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All right.
like a strip loin,
All right.
you know,
You ever had goat? Ugh.
ribeye.
Actually, goat's very good.
Yeah, it's just if you don't get the hair off of it the right way, it's terrible.
I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
He's a chef.
No, Josh was having flashbacks. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, no, that was Josh right there.
So yeah, absolutely. So you make your way to the goat, and you telling Carl to start cutting strips, or are you gonna cut the strips? Useless.
No, Carl's gonna do it.
All right, Carl.
Eustace ain't gonna be cutting strips.
Carl's gonna look at you. I'm a cook. I'm not a butcher, boss.
It's just a loin, Carl. You've seen him before. You gotta have an idea on what to do.
Yeah, but the second I see blood, the second I see blood,
Ugh. Anybody want to cut up the goat?
I could do it.
I'm gonna sit down. I'm tired.
Oh, I could do it.
I think Thalia's tired.
Right.
Caleb is tired. Thalia is wide awake. Rearing to
Caleb
go.
needs to do more cocaine.
Jesus Christ.
Caleb
Hold
needs
on,
to
I got
get
a little
some
bump for you.
monster.
Hold on. Let me bring up my stack.
Oh my god.
Free
Do
base
I even
cocaine.
know?
So, Frog, would it be a survival check for me to render the goat?
Absolutely. Cut that shit up.
Okay. We're cutting that shit up. Bam.
Oh yeah, man. It'll take you some time, but you get flanks. You obviously have seen cuts happen before, and you do it like a champ. Your armor does get slightly stained in blood, as this is not the best conditions for overall accuracy, but you do well enough. As you're doing that, the clearing has been cut out behind the cart, where you would see Carl kind of prepping up a fire. As he's stoking the fire, you see Carl throwing in green brush in there, and they seem to be different varieties of different green brush, which creates these white plumes of smoke.
Are you trying to get a smoky fire? Because you know that's not going to burn that well.
It's seasoning, madam. It's seasoning. You see, I saw this lemongrass here, and I've seen it done before, where it kind of adds a zest to the meat. I figured.
There's lemongrass around here.
Yes, right
I'm
down
sorry.
here under this red buried leaf.
Are you sure that's lemongrass?
Pretty sure.
Does it look like lemongrass, Frog?
Sure, it looks like lemongrass.
Let the man
Okay.
have the seasoning.
I feel like in real life, Caleb knows something I don't.
Well, no, I just find it funny that this region of the world has lemongrass. It's,
Dude, this region of the world's got dragons.
yeah, I'm just saying. It's just funny. It's just funny that you're tying it back to like a real world thing
Hell
that
yeah,
I
man.
know about.
Real
And it's
recognizes
super
real.
abstract and niche. It's super abstract and niche, and I love it.
Awesome. So there's some lemongrass here, as well as some clover. So there's some clover there. He's also tossing into it, and it creates.
I just also wanted to make sure that he wasn't being an idiot and trying to or grabbing stuff that wasn't actually what he thought it was.
like hemlock and shit.
Yeah.
Kane, give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Rip Kane. We hardly knew ye.
What the hell?
Now you know how I felt when I had to make all the
Dead.
random charisma saves around Z.
Dead.
So
11.
what happens with you? All right, Grog. No, we can
Shit
RP that in
piss
just a
everywhere.
second.
Just shit and piss
you
everywhere.
start. So as you're doing whatever you're doing for the course of this like little bit of downtime we have here, your right hand from your wrist to your fingertips start to itch.
I look at my right hand and I scratch it.
You start scratching it. You look closely at the back of your hand, and there seems to be these little clear bumps that are beginning to form.
What's
Huh.
that?
Scratch.
You scratch?
Yeah.
You scratch these little clear bubbles that are on the back of your skin, and they pop open. There's like clear liquid that kind of spews out a little bit, and it kind of spreads
Ugh.
across the back of your hand. It
Ew.
continues to itch.
Ugh. Not gonna scratch that.
Asher, you
Yeah?
see Kane scratching at his wrist, or his hand rather, his back of his hand.
What you got there, bud? Let me see it, and I'll offer my hand out to take his.
Roll me a nature check, Asher, with advantage. You've seen this before.
I feel like I know what it is out of character.
I'll tell you what, make your roll, and I'll let you guess what it is first.
A 9.
You know what? This is not that difficult to tell, so it had a very low DC. What is it?
I'm pretty sure it's either poison ivy or poison oak.
It sure is poison oak.
Yeah. Awesome.
Ugh.
Because I am super allergic to that shit IRL.
I feel you.
You got some poison oak on your hand. I've got it before. That best way to treat it's going to be one, don't scratch it, and we need to find some powder to put on it.
I've already scratched it.
Well, quit fucking scratching it. You're gonna
I
spread it and
have.
make it worse. Also, which hand do you grab your dick with when you take a piss? Because
Right.
it's not gonna be your right anymore unless you want to have a bad time. 13-year-old me found that out, and I'm gonna go to the pack, and I imagine there was like some flour or something in there. And like I'm gonna get some of that and just bring it over and like put it on his hand, like a light dusting.
Hey, don't use
Help
too
soak
much
up
of that.
the
I
oil.
cook with that.
It's a little bit. We got a poison oak outbreak. Kane's got it on his hand.
All right, just
And-
some awesome vegetation here. I want to harvest for some specialty bread. Just don't use it all, okay?
Got it. It's just a little bit, and like I go back and I put a little bit on Kane's hand, and if I see him going to like scratch it while I'm walking up behind him, I just thump him in the back of the head a little, and just say no, like a mom scolding
Use-
their child.
Use the flat of your blade. That'll keep
Don't
him in
scratch it.
Yeah.
Like as soon as things popped up, I'm like, nope.
Yeah, don't worry, this is actually real, not the hag. And I start dusting it down with flour. I hope you don't mind that I used like real world knowledge in
No,
the game. but-
you are a man of the woods, so you got this. That's why I leaned on you for it.
Alright, cool.
At the same time, as this conversation's going on, and Thalia would kind of come around the back, as she has noticed the lemongrass and the clover, as these goat shanks or flanks are being handed over to Carl. Grognar, what exactly are you doing at this moment?
Oh, pretty lady, come here. You have too much blood on you. It'll attract animals. He'll start casting prestidigitation, which basically it is the way it looks. He just opens up his book, flips through it, and then he just turns the book at you, and it's like a mixture of like warm and wet air just cleansing you. Sterilization.
It's moist. Mm.
Remember, it's also still raining a little bit here, even though the canopy above you does dissipate it a bunch. You do get the occasional drops on you, but as Grognar casts his prestidigitation, your armor begins to get cleaned magically.
Once again, shipping Grognar and Thalia.
Prejudication.
Yes, prestidigitation. That fucking.
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
You know what?
Prestidigitation.
I'm totally over it.
There's a lisp that's built into that word in the middle. It's prestidigitation. It's like Worcestershire sauce.
Prestidigitation.
All right, team.
Yeah.
As the
Elvish
flanks of
words.
goat start to simmer, with a hint of smoky lemongrass and clover, the first person to take a good whiff would be Eustace. As the first flank is almost done, Carl looks up at you and offers you the first piece.
Looks great, Carl. Thanks.
You know, with you, I get to try all the exotic stuffs. I gotta make sure to write down this recipe later. Tell me how it tastes.
Let's find out.
I ship Carl and Eustace.
Yeah, this is pretty
So do
good,
I.
Carl. I mean, it's obviously not it's not a strip off a cow, but it's pretty solid. Thank you.
Carl's trying to get noticed by his senpai.
He's gonna
Notice me,
go-
senpai?
Notice me, senpai. Ooh, woo.
Thank you, boss. I try really hard, you know. One day I hope to cook for the king.
No, Eustace is gonna go. Eustace is actually gonna go on the wagon, and I'm gonna attempt to use my mage hand to lift up a stick. I'm gonna light it with my cantrip, so I can have better light, and I'm gonna try and learn some of my scrolls permanently, in my spell book, if possible.
So, copying spells from spell scrolls into your spell book is doable. There are rules. Have you looked at the rules for it?
I got an idea. Yeah.
Okay, it also costs a lot of gold depending on what level the spell is, just so you're aware.
Oh, I didn't see the gold price. What do you have an idea what a level 1 would be?
Why don't you Google it up while we continue to RP? Google
Hey.
up copying spells into spellbook.
Hey, Frog.
Yeah.
With the limits of the mending spell, would I be able to fix the entire cart?
Absolutely. It will take you a very long time to do it, but yeah, it's 100% doable. The only
Approximately how long?
I mean, this thing is splayed and beaten. Can you link? Mending's already linked. 1 second. It actually has a spell. It's like you get X amount of, but per 10 minutes or something like that. 1 cubic
1 foot
per 10 minutes, is it?
Yeah.
And that's going to be based
per
off
minute.
1 foot per minute? That doesn't sound right. 1 second.
Casting time 1 minute.
Yeah, casting time 1 minute. You can fix up to 1 foot in dimension.
1 foot in dimension marks, no larger than 1 cubic foot. Shield 1, blah blah blah. You create non-magical trinket. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, so there it is. So yeah, we'll just go based off that. So yes, you can do it because the only real stipulation about mending is that you have to have the pieces of its original form. You know, so when you have all those pieces and you put them together, you can mend it. So if it was burned, different story. You know, burning leads to ash, and then you can't do that. But in this case here, it was brute forced to pieces, and even the pieces aren't fully in pieces. They're kind of just split wood and snapped. The canopy as well is just ripped and torn. So yeah, it'll take you a hot minute.
So,
go ahead.
So I don't have that cantrip prepared right now.
Mhm.
I'd have to take a long rest
Correct.
and prepare that.
Correct.
So
Does Grognar have it?
He also, I'm pretty sure
Grognar always has it.
Yeah, Grognar. So I mean, the two you combined would
Okay.
obviously make that, and you know, cut the time out by half. It's still a
Like-
project. It's definitely still a project, but it's at least it'll be better than just one person.
Well, I mean, Grognar can be doing that while we're
Grognar has a whole
fiddling
list
around.
of cantrips.
Yeah,
I
have
think
Grognar do part of it tonight, and then we finish it tomorrow.
I think that me and Asher should probably unpack the goat.
Quick question. Let's can we confirm that one goat can run the cart
Yeah, can one goat even pull it?
out of
It's
character?
required
Yeah.
2 to pull the cart.
I mean, yeah, you
I
know,
feel like
I'm
it
pretty-
should.
I'm
It's
pretty-
on wheels.
Yeah, but I'm also, well, yeah, it's on wheels, but you're also going through the woods and a dirt
Yeah.
path, and there's hills and elevation change. I would say yes. It just won't be as efficient as 2.
That's fine. I mean, it should be easier than the goat carrying it all on its back,
I agree.
because it's on wheels now.
Maybe
Now, mind you,
we
you still have the problem of all the vegetation between the goat and the way out. And I believe the spell in its original form. Guys, I am working here. A little
It's
respectfully.
like a 300-foot radius.
it's a 100-foot radius.
Yeah,
so
so
200.
you have, let's
feet.
say you guys cleared off 15 feet because you said you cut to the goat, so I'm cool with that. So let's just say you still have 85 foot of vegetation to cut through.
Alright, Grognar, you fix the cart. I'm gonna start clearing away the path ahead.
I have an idea to lower some weight on the cart. What if we cut the top of it off? Like the struts supporting the covered wagon part, and we just lose some weight that way to make it easier for the goat to pull. We don't have to have a covered cart. Like, yes, it's nice, but it's a luxury we don't have to have.
That's doable.
Think we can save the cover?
I mean, yes, if you want to save the, I don't know, the canvas is pretty heavy. That's where most of the weight comes from on a covered wagon. For the top section is going to be the canvas. That's going to be pretty heavy. We could maybe cut up some of it to use for like a tent, maybe, but I would say if we want to try and save weight to move faster with one goat pulling it, we cut the top off and just deal with a convertible.
It also would cut down on the time for us mending shit.
Yeah, it's literally half as much that we have to mend, or more.
Let's cut it.
All right.
And I'm clearing away brush and leaves and other shit.
While you guys do this, I'm going over here to I'm gonna study the scroll of silence that I bought from Mirladar over the course of 4 hours, and it cost me 100 gold.
And I assume
Asher's.
you have that gold, yeah,
Yep.
as well as the writing utensils.
Yep.
All right.
Asher's gonna start looking for like this world's equivalent of tobacco,
And you said it's gonna
if there
cost.
is any.
You said that'll cost you how many hours, Fate?
4 hours.
Okay.
It's a level two spell.
Absolutely, and you could do that during the first half of your long rest as well. All right, and as Asher hops off and begins to search, go ahead and give me a survival check as you're searching through brush and vegetation.
You got it. 18.
18. You look around. In this particular area, however, you don't see legitimate tobacco, but you definitely keep it in mind that you wish to keep your eye open, and I will also keep that in
Yeah.
mind.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna take it. Asher's about to pick up an old habit.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I assume this is leading towards the eventual long rest. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So,
So let's put as many hours as we can before dark, cutting
Yeah.
forward.
you have about
Obviously.
3 hours. You have about 3 hours until nightfall. Maybe less, depending on the weather. If the clouds clear up or not, let's find out. Do the clouds clear up? They unfortunately do not clear up, so it'll get dark in about 2 hours.
All right.
In 2 hours of cutting, I'm gonna say, pardon me. In 2 hours of cutting, multiple people doing it. Let's just say you'll go to bed with 20 more feet to cut through. That sounds reasonable. And on top of that, let's say the mending is roll me a. You know what? No, I'm not gonna have you roll a d100 because God forbid you roll a fucking 99. Let's just reasonably say half of the cart, the inside of the cart where the split boards are and stuff, you're able to mend that, Grognar. The wheel's still busted, and some of the outward planks are busted, but outside of as far as the center goes, it seems to be getting sturdier by the minute.
Can we all get a +1 to our strength ability score from spending a day cutting fucking underbrush?
No, but you can get +1 to hygiene, or should I make it a -1?
Probably. We all fucking stink.
Well, Grognar would cast Prestidigitation on everyone, so.
Thank you, Ragnar.
So,
I am
lower
a
that,
scholar,
please.
not a worker.
Sorry, my kids are being weird.
Asher is avoiding Grognar like the fucking plague.
The fucking plague, as opposed to
He can
just
be
a
10
regular
feet
plague.
from you and cast it.
It is
I would-
nighttime at this point.
I imagine I'd notice it. I imagine that I'd talk to Asher about this whole avoidance of Grognar thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Asher,
What's up,
What?
Kane?
Why are you being racist all the time?
what's going on between you and Grognar?
Did you not hear what happened the other night in camp?
Kinda did.
Yeah. The fucker helped capture myself and my men that got. You know what happened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I've got this fucking monster in the party with us. I mean,
Have you ever met? You're a mercenary.
yeah.
Have you ever met anybody from the other side?
What do you mean? Like, have
Well-
I ever fought with half orcs before?
No.
I mean, yeah, I fought
Well,
with
I mean,
other
yeah.
half-orcs.
I'm not talking about.
I don't have
Grognar.
a problem with him because he's a half orc. I have a
No.
problem with him because he helped capture, torture, and kill my men.
Have you ever met? You've been. How many conflicts have you been in besides what's going on with the Greenskin?
I mean, we did a lot of merchant detail escorting people. So, I mean, I fought bandits. We did some minor, skirmishes with landowner disputes ever since the fucking empire fell apart. There's been proxy wars popping up and little brush fire wars. So, I mean, yeah, I've campaigned in different places.
Have you met anybody on the other side of any of those conflicts?
I mean, yeah, they didn't capture and torture people for fun. and make you watch.
Was Grognar actually participating in the torture?
He says he didn't, but how can I trust him? He said he helped capture him. He could just be saying he didn't help torture him, just so that way I don't stick a knife in his throat.
Think
The
about how
only
we
reason,
think about how we found him.
yeah, they had him
He
tied
was
to a
ti-
stick.
he was practically tied up and left for dead.
Yeah, so
So he obviously didn't agree with what the people were doing.
or they just got mad because he follows a different god than they do. Last time I checked, they were pretty fucking devout to their weird gods.
We all follow different paths, and sometimes we come across others we don't want to.
Listen,
Sometimes
if
we're
you're trying to,
just hear me out. Sometimes we're put in situations where we have no control over the outcome. He's proven himself a trustworthy ally. I understand. I'm not saying you have to be nice to him, but
and I told him the only reason why I didn't kill him that night is because he had been useful to the party, and I thought I could trust him. But now I don't know if I can trust him.
well, he
I
has
mean,
to
hell,
earn
I'm
that
finding
trust.
out a lot about this party. I found out Grognar helped capture and lead to the death of my men, and I found out you had a wife you turned in for being a witch. Like, a lot of revelations here. We've had Reen fuck off. Mithrax is dead. Like,
Well, that,
and now
what happened
Thalia all of a
between
sudden
me and my
thinks that.
wife is something I fully regret. And
Yeah,
I can only hope to one day be forgiven of that. But
I mean, I'm not taking dating advice from you ever again. I'm
There's a-
sorry, brother, but you did, you got a bad record. He's tried to joke with you to show that he's not mad at you. He's just, you know.
you seen Kane give a little smile, but just go easy on him. I'm pretty sure he's had it rough too.
There's a reason why I'm trying to avoid him.
Okay.
I can't stand that he fucking calls me chief.
Yeah, I can't stand when he calls me old man either, but that's
Well, I'm not a fucking leader, Kane. The last
not-
people I led, I failed, and they all died. What kind of fucking leader is that? I'm not a chief or anything. I'm a fucking failure that's just trying to get some payback.
we all have failures in lives. It's how we overcome them that show us who we really are.
Yeah, and I'm gonna overcome it by killing all of them. But thanks for trying to talk to me about it, man. I do appreciate it. Asher's just going through a lot right now.
Yeah, I know.
Where are you guys having this conversation at?
I would imagine toward like Asher would be keeping towards like the edge of where we have it cut off.
Okay.
So kind of like I said, putting his distance between like Grognar and kind of everybody else, just chilling with the cat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So as the nighttime begins to overtake the light, where's everyone crashing for the evening?
The back of the cart.
Asher's gonna take first watch, and then I'll figure out where I sleep after that.
Do we really need anybody watching? Who the hell's gonna come walking through this?
You never know.
I could think of a number of monsters that would just come in here by themselves.
Yeah, I'd feel better with a watch. Plus, we don't know if those lizards are gonna come back,
Yep.
and we do have 2 people that are tied up. You have to keep an eye on. Kane likes to
Yeah,
lose
let's-
track of his pets.
Let's make sure
Yeah.
we tie them to trees this time.
And a half working
say-
4 HP.
I say we tie them together.
Yeah, just keep them tied together. Tie the lizard's mouth shut.
Yeah. Tie the lizard's mouth shut, gag the goblin, and then like the goblin's a lot shorter than the lizard, so tie the goblin around the lizard's legs. like his calves.
I heard that. Even though Frog ain't got his camera on, I could see what he was thinking.
Yeah, the lizard was gonna bite the goblin's neck and eat it.
Or he's gonna bite his own. Yeah, no, the lizard has his mouth tied shut.
All right. So, is it just Asher on first watch?
I'll take first watch with Asher.
Okay. As everyone else begins to get a little shut-eye, you start to hear the nighttime radiate through the trees and brush. Crickets are chirping. You hear the occasional animal doing their nighttime howl here and there. Sometimes you hear what sounds like smaller mammalians kind of running through, maybe under the cart here and there, as you guys would periodically hear the brush kind of jolt and sway a little bit here and there. The rain is still happening. A nice steady rain, not a downpour, but a nice steady rain. The first watch goes without a hitch, and all seems to go well. At this point, the goblin, you hear the moaning sounds of, and in goblin he would say, my head, my stomach.
Asher will just say, we'll go over to it, and in goblin say, that's what you get for talking shit.
The goblin, in its droggy state, would tell you to go fuck yourself.
You're the one that got a knife in its guts.
You got lucky.
He'll just walk away. And, well, check its bindings and then walk away.
You check its bindings, and they seem to be secure, and whatnots. The goblin, looking at his surroundings, begins to kind of like wiggle a little bit and realize what he's attached to. As he looks up and shouts over to you, "Are you fucking crazy? Get me off of this thing!"
Shouldn't have tried to run away.
Yeah, I'll tell it in goblin. If you're a good little boy and don't try and run, I won't tie you to the lizard tomorrow.
I don't trust this. This is bad. This is bad. Get me
You
off
don't
this
have
thing.
a choice.
And he starts hollering and yelling.
Didn't we gag it?
I will go put its gag back in its mouth.
It continues to try to spit it out like the first time.
I'll put my dagger up to its neck and tell it to shut up, or I remove the rope from the lizard and I let it eat you.
Persuasion
and I
check.
hear they start at the asshole.
Actually, you can roll me an intimidation or a persuasion. Your choice.
Shit.
I have proficiency in persuasion, so I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
A 6. Oh well.
Let's see. I can still roll bad. 1 second.
It's a goblin. I'm sure it has worse charisma than I do.
Believe it or not, I rolled a 3. The goblin stops moving.
I pat him on the cheek. Good boy.
You hear a small growl come from the goblin. And kind of just looks away from you. Okay.
Me as George feels bad for this goblin.
I do too, but it's what, like, fuck it.
Is that a snowflake shuriken?
Is that a what?
Is that a snowflake shuriken?
No, it's actually a multi-tool.
Oh, okay.
Like you got different Allen wrenches on each side, and you got Phillips,
Okay.
flat.
The first watch ends. Second watch.
One thing
Who's sleeping through the entire time? Or rather, who's taking a second watch? I should start there.
I can take another watch.
Eustace will do the second watch.
Okay, cool. And that'll be the time that you take to copy your spell. I'm cool with that. Thalia, you look over,
Yep.
and you see Eustace just kind of scribbling away in his spell book, kind of looking at a piece of parchment and then looking back at his spell book and back and forth, and you just hear him scratching away. The scratching of his quill as everything else is pretty much quiet outside of the crickets and the humidity in the air. You hear the scratching. I can't even make fucking sound effects in my microphone. Won't even let you happen. Anyway, yeah, but you'll hear the quill scratching against, paper.
I'm
Before I get
gonna hone my sword, I guess.
You're gonna do what to your sword? I'm sorry.
Hone it.
Hone it. What does that mean? Sharpen it?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. As you match the quill sounds with the sounds of grinding metal.
All right.
All right. The second watch goes without any conversation and or any kind of words amongst each other. Everyone gains the benefits of a long rest.
Can you? What are the benefits of a long rest under your rules again? Because I feel like I've
It's on
forgotten.
the end of the table.
It's on the end of the table.
Yeah, 1 second. I will.
I'm coming.
It's half
I'm coming.
rounded down, correct? That you regain.
Yeah. No, for hit dice, it's half rounded up. Hit dice is the only thing I round up.
Okay.
Where the hell is my cheat sheet? Oops, wrong button.
I basically used no hit dice.
So long rest. After the first 4 hours, you regain half of your hit dice. After the second 4 hours, you regain all spell slots and all long rest cooldowns. You could spend your hit dice as well after the first 4 hours.
So. Okay.
So essentially, you could use your hit dice, and at the end of the 4 hours, you can gain half your hit dice back. And then, you could be strategic with it if you wish.
Is that rounded up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you have 5 and you use 3 of them, whenever you take the long rest, you'll get 3 back
Got it.
because of rounding.
Correctamundo.
Asher, you kind of got gypped in those rolls.
Yeah, well that's why I used my last 2nd level spell slot. I would have used it before finishing my first watch to boost my health back up.
All right, guys. Everyone need more time, or are you guys good?
We're good.
Okay. As we were. Everyone wakes up in the morning. A loud yawn cascades across everyone's ears. The yawn coming from Carl himself. He stretches. Who's hungry?
I'm ravenous.
Everybody.
We got any more of that goat?
I don't think we ate it all.
Eustace, your companion doesn't seem to be very bright.
It was a big ass goat.
Carl's fine. What are you talking about? Dude,
Nothing,
tabletop
I guess.
is lagging.
He's so fine. He is so not stupid.
I'm gonna. Asher's gonna walk up to Carl, like, "Hey, you don't smoke or anything by chance, do you?"
To Carl, you said this to?
Yeah. He's asking Carl.
The only smoking I do is a nice deep steak.
I figured that would be the answer. Never mind.
I am truly sorry.
You're good. And he just pats him on the back. And
Anyway, you says he's going up to Carl. So what are you thinking for breakfast, Carl?
Well, I mean, we're out of flank. All I have is powder. Got some dried fruit over here. Some more rations. I mean, we can call it the lazy breakfast. Eat some rations until we can find something a little bit more palatable later.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
We-
I'll keep my eye open.
We didn't eat all the goat. There's no way.
Well, I can't. I second I see blood.
Right. I forgot about that.
Grognar starts
Someone-
using prestidigitation to clean out the blood of the meat.
Oh, you're just siphoning all the blood out.
that's disgusting. But
So
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm-
So
all
who's
right.
going to who's going to the goat?
I'm
Do you
getting
want-
a fire
Okay.
going again.
Do you guys want me to render the goat more?
Yeah, just
Mhm.
make sure the other one doesn't see it.
As you
Alright, I'm
head
gonna
over to the
render
goat,
the goat.
Thalia, the closer you get to this goat, you hear zzz. You sound like, see, you can't hear my sound effects. You hear what sounds like the buzzing of insects.
Yeah. Good thing I got a spell for that. At what point does meat become food?
What? What?
What?
So I have purify food and drink.
Oh.
At what point does the goat become food?
I mean, you're more than welcome to cast a spell.
I feel like I would know whether this was a fruitful or fruitless effort.
I mean, you can technically eat meat raw.
Yeah, but what? Yeah, so okay, I can eat a lot of things. That doesn't necessarily make it food now, does it?
Yes,
If
it
you're
does.
worried, we can just wait until you've got it cut up and start cooking it and then cast it.
Yeah,
That's
that
when it's food, is when you're cooking it.
Okay, all right, all right, all right.
I
Then
would
I
assume.
will start rendering more of the goat.
Awesome. The meat itself doesn't seem to be all that bad yet. I mean, yes, it's definitely been out to the elements for at least 8 or so hours. The insects have gotten to it, but you know, the meat itself still feels like meat, be it a little coagulated. But yeah, you start getting some flanks as you bring it back to Carl. Carl's like, "Ugh, what what'd you do to this?"
I rendered it because you're too much of a pussy to do it yourself.
wow.
And I shoved the meat at him, all bloody and all.
Damn.
Don't piss off the cook, Thalia.
He
Is it Thalia's time of the month?
he looks at the meat and he looks over to Eustace. He kind of gives you that eye, Eustace, of do I cook it or what should I do?
Does it smell good?
I mean, it doesn't have a pungent odor to it yet, but it looks like this thing's been sitting on in the sun for like a day.
How
Well, it
very
has been sitting
perceptive
out
of
in the
you.
sun in a day.
Cook it.
Damn, Thalia, what the hell?
I thought you were like the chosen one. Why are you? Fine, I'll cook it.
Thank you.
She's mad because she doesn't have.
And
a
I walk
cauldron
away
on it.
from her. Or him, whatever.
He begins to stoke a fire. I'm gonna say from start to finish, about an hour to an hour and a half to get everything squared away.
Alright, once it's done, I'll cast Purify Food and Drink on it.
Can I have you purify one of the mice too? Because I'm gonna start trying to cook that to feed the cat.
You said one of the mice.
Make sure
Yes, one of the mice.
Okay.
it's within a 5-foot radius of the
Yeah,
other food.
I was gonna let you. That's what I was saying. Like Asher would let you know, hey, I'm gonna try and cook this and feed it to the cat. It's a little off. I'm gonna have it next to the other food. No one eat the mouse. Ragnar. And yeah.
Alright.
All right. Yeah, all that would transpire as you cast your purify. What does that spell look like to you?
So like the silver light's gonna kind of wash over the top of it, and like it's gonna kind of like sear the meat a little bit, and the flat any residual insects or anything that might have been on it kind of get like in little puffs of smoke as they get purified away.
Absolutely, 100%. Fantastic. And you do so. You guys, sit over a solid meal, munching away. As you finish your meals for the day, what do you guys want to do, man? Basically, you guys have open choices here. So what's as a DM out of character, I need to know the plan. So what are we doing?
I'm finishing the mending on the cart.
I'm going to clear things away, and if he's still mending by the time I'm done with that, I'm gonna help him mend.
Yeah, you know, I'm just gonna roll a d6. I'm gonna say you got at least 4 more hours of mending to do. 2 hours with both of you guys combined.
I'm gonna start trying to cut a path out for the wagon and the goat.
Sure, and I'm gonna say that'll take you 2 hours to complete, so that kind of synergizes.
Since we have the goat on the saddle still, I think we just took all of the supplies off of it. Could I lead the goat forward with me to let him start trying to eat and stretch his legs as I'm trying to cut the path?
Absolutely, you can.
And I'll once per day for free cast my speak with animals. We don't have to RP it. He's just checking on the goat, make sure he's okay.
Yeah, the goat would
know
reply.
what's going on.
The goat would reply in some sort of fashion that he is calmer, and just doesn't want to be here much longer.
Yeah. And I'll give him his little head scratches and everything, but mostly just trying to. He's just trying to make sure their ride is chill, and he's gonna tell him, hey, later I'm gonna have to hook you back up to the cart. It's gonna be okay. You'll be all right, buddy.
And Eustace is gonna sit down and ritual his familiar back to life, and just whenever that's complete, I'm just gonna dismiss it for when it's needed.
You say you're gonna summon it and then dismiss it for what reasons?
Well, it's dead right now, so I have to recast it. But once I have it, I can just dismiss and summon instantaneously after that point, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, you can teleport it through the whole portal concept, but every time you dismiss it, you have to recast it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bring him out then.
I mean,
you can just like chilling on your shoulder.
What is it? Is it an owl or something?
Yeah, it's Eric the owl.
Yeah, Eric the
Yeah,
owl. So, I mean, you could have it on
we
your
had to
shoulder.
censor his name.
You could have a little fucking thing in one of your sleeves if you want that he could chill out in. I mean, however you wish to flavor it, I don't care.
He's just gonna perch on the wagon.
Okay, and does so.
Frog,
Yes,
if
sir.
I try and feed the cat the cooked mouse, does it eat the meat?
You're more than welcome to throw me an animal handling with advantage.
Awesome.
And let me know what you rolled.
A 16.
Yep. As you dangle this mouse in front of Jaeger,
Yeah.
it at first kind of whaps at it with its paws as if it was a play toy. And then it kind of gets hooked on one of its claws and pulls it in and does that whole cat pull and bite kind of action.
Mm-hmm.
And it continues to chew and chew and chew
Yeah.
and chew.
So he's eating it.
It appears as if he's definitely chewing it.
He's definitely chewing it.
Okay. All right, then I'm just gonna keep an eye on him, see if he eats it or if he pukes it up or what.
Sure.
Trying to see when I can start trying to transfer him from like the milk and stuff that I've had.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool.
All right, guys. So, 2 hours pass. You guys are in the clear. You have a way out. You guys are fed. You guys are all doing your thing. So yeah, we heading out, and in which direction, gentlemen?
Which way were we headed when we got here?
I think we're gonna try and skim beaten on the way to the forest of the hag.
Yeah, we're gonna
we're
try
all
and
beaten.
just do some recon at Beaton to see what's going on there.
All right.
The orcs set up a stronghold, or if they just did a raid and left.
Following the tracks. Yeah. All right. Cool. Following the trail and the tracks that kind of seem to have this. I wouldn't call it a highway, but it definitely does seem to be a traveled makeshift road of sorts. Seems to be heading in the same general direction that you were trying to go to begin with. The wagon itself, being mended up together, does tend to squeak a little bit more than it used to do, but it works. It is a little slow going here, as you only have one goat pulling at this point, but it's working. That's saying a lot considering what just happened to this cart. It's taking you a good 12 hours or so to even get to this point where you're all kind of working together and moving on out. It's about early. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say for marching order, Asher's gonna be like he usually is in the front, and I was going to see if Kane wanted to come up with me for a little bit. So
What time is it in game right now?
I was about to
You
say.
said 12 hours went by, so
Well,
what time is it?
no, not 12 hours of riding. It took you about 12 hours to just get to the point that the cart's moving again. At this point, it's going to be like late morning. Let's call it somewhere around 9 and 10, maybe 10:30.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, working all day yesterday and then a couple hours this morning.
Correct.
I guess I'm gonna be driving the cart again.
Okay, I'm on board
Okay.
for that.
All right.
All right, guys. The trees begin to kind of separate a little bit. They thin out, and then they, not reform, but they'll start to thin out and then get, congested again, and thin out and then congested again. So just to emphasize the actual movement and, the location itself is changing the further and closer you get to Beaton. This road hasn't been traveled before by you guys. However, it does kind of wind here and wind there. At one point, as the road kind of arcs to the right-hand side, by the way, still raining, as the cart, to the right-hand side, this field of tall vegetation, but it's all in uniform. Think of a cornfield, but it's not corn. There seems to be some sort of a wheat or something, but it's really tall, taller than you all. But this field seems to be just littered with it. As you walk, or at least as you ride past it, Thalia, roll me perception with advantage, please. And tell me what you rolled.
15.
You get a whiff of something unnatural.
Like divine sense unnatural?
Yeah,
Or
it just kind of triggers your spidey sense.
good to know. I'm gonna actually like fully use a charge of divine sense
Absolutely.
and see if I can figure out where that's coming from.
As you
Linked it in
do
the chat.
so, the further the more you travel alongside this high wheat kind of field, the more of this sulfuric smell can be smelled, quite frankly. It definitely smells off and semi-putrid to you. Since you are elevated slightly on this cart, you stand up just to kind of get a good look around. You see inside of this field, you'll see like movement. You'll see like the blades of not grass but wheat, the wheat stalks kind of shifting to the side here and there as if something's moving through it.
Towards us?
It seems to be about 40-45 feet away from you, but it just seems to be moving sporadically. Whether it's heading whether it's heading directly towards you is not something to be understood at this moment.
I'm gonna tell Asher to get up here and point to where I'm seeing the stuff.
All right, I'll fall back since I was in the lead and come up to her and ask what's going on.
And I'm gonna point out over to the field and say, "You see that?"
I'll climb up on top of the wagon so I can kind of get a better view of it and take a look.
You climb up on the wagon, pretty much where he's at, and you would see the same thing. You just see like tall grass, tall wheat, and it seems to be shifting as if something's walking through it.
Hey, Usus,
Yeah.
can you send your bird to do a flyby on this wheat field? Something's moving in it. And I'm going to get my longbow ready and just like knock an arrow and just be ready to shoot if anything like starts coming out of that wheat field.
Yeah, I'm gonna send Eric 20 feet above, just flying around the movement in the wheat field to look down.
As your owl flies, second you get up to like 15 feet in height, your owl would first see what looks like a home in the distance on the other end of this wheat field, let's call it. The wheat field itself is large, with a clearing between the house and the wheat field, and you guys are on the opposite. I should probably write this down. Hold on. Let me draw it on the map here just so we can get an idea of what we're looking at here. As soon as the lag decides to stop.
I blame George.
Alright, so default color, white, pen. Okay. So you guys are the X on a road, and then let's just say there's a home over here. And then there's this clearing. Oops, that didn't work out. Let's say the circles are the clearings, right? And then we'll just say the square is kind of this wheat field. And then inside the wheat field, you'll see this movement, basically like just sporadically moving. It doesn't seem to be a direct straight line to your owl, but it is moving, and it seems to be heading towards the cabin or the home.
It's moving towards the cabin. Should we just keep an eye on it? I might be able to see what it looks like momentarily.
Yeah, keep an eye on it. But the last time we walked up to a random cabin in the woods, it was a hag. So let's not.
The
But
owl.
the time before that,
Go ahead.
the time before that, we also found the cat.
That was the time
That
after.
after. That was
Oh,
time
was
after.
that after? Was
After.
that after?
That was after we found the hag and after Beaten. Every time we found a random cabin in the woods so far, it's been a bad time.
Okay.
I wouldn't say finding the saber-tooth tigers was a bad time. I mean, we got some shit out of
We
that.
got some cool stuff out of it, but
The rain that still falls appears to like make this fog that seems to kind of radiate through the high grass here. It's kind of eerie.
Frog, could I make, I don't know if it'd be survival or nature, to check and see if I can get a read on when the storm would be blowing away, since I've spent a lot of time outside?
Sure. I mean, the cloud cover, you don't even have to check for it. The cloud cover is pretty thick and gray.
Okay, so we're kind of in like the middle of this storm.
I wouldn't call it a storm, it's just raining.
Yeah, sorry, rain,
Yep.
storm. Okay, I wasn't sure if like there was a clear horizon in any direction to look if it was like moving out, but okay. It doesn't look like the rain's going to clear up anytime soon, so.
What's the plan, guys?
We're gonna wait until whatever is moving goes another 20 feet, and then go into an opening so the owl can see what it is.
As
say
your owl waits and kind of circles the top, you would see this creature kind of shambling, heavy-footed, side by side. What the hell was that sound?
I heard that thud from here.
Please hold, guys.
Who wants to take bets on if it's the hag?
I think the
Something
cabin's the
in
hag.
his house.
Yeah.
I think it's an undead that we're seeing.
As this
I don't think
creature-
the hag.
Go ahead.
The
I'm sorry.
hag doesn't trigger my senses.
Well, the hag has way of hiding from your senses, not necessarily.
No, it does not trigger my senses.
As
Yeah,
this owl would relay information back to Eustace, this creature, from a bird's eye view, seems to shamble, very heavy-footed. Like its left leg leans into it on every step. Right leg leans into it pretty heavy. He seems to be holding something in his hands, kind of like a bucket or a barrel or a basket. It's difficult to tell at this height, as this basket also seems to be filled with some vegetation inside of it, and it shambles closer and closer to this cabin.
Did we establish what kind of hag she was?
All we know
Yeah.
is she was blue. In character, we don't know what kind of hag she
Oh,
is.
no. In character, we
Oh,
don't know.
Okay. Then,
Yeah.
depending on out of character, depending on what kind of hag it is, it may or may not trigger my senses. So I don't know.
All we know in character is that she was blue and they liked to eat people and make deals to cause misery.
Gotcha.
Well, that's all hags.
Myself and Asher doesn't know that, so nah.
Kane, as a character, would know that.
Yeah.
Hags are kind of his specialty.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what is Kane's specialty going to do about the scenario that we're currently in?
Kane is. Fuck it, he's gonna go. I'll go scout out, see what's going on here. I'm
Okay.
not gonna go inside if I don't have to.
I'll go with you, Kane.
Yeah.
Because I have something that'll help us sneak. So,
Is that really smart to go off and split up?
we can all go if you want. You're gonna need to stay close to me so I can cast a spell to keep us a little bit more hidden.
We're just gonna go check it out. We're not planning on interacting. We're just
Okay.
gonna see what it is, what's going on.
Maybe a spellcaster who can alert in some way could go with you? Or something?
Well, that's Eustace or Grognar.
Eustace, you want to come with us?
Fine. He just jumps out. He's like, "We'll all be back soon, Carl."
Boss, don't leave me alone.
And Asher will take Jaeger and be like, Carl, do you want to babysit again?
I don't feel comfortable being alone. You smell
I'm
that?
here still. I'm still here.
Thalia and Grognar are still here.
Don't worry, Carl. You have the chosen one with you.
Yeah.
But the chosen one doesn't like me.
She's just, Asher tells him quietly, she's just a little off
Just-
right
if
now
you- if
because
you're
of the
gonna go in-
hag.
If you're gonna go into this weird field, if you find any kind of vegetation like stone fruits or like carrots, just bring them back, okay?
Don't know what a
Okay.
stone fruit is, but I know what a carrot is, so, yeah. Will you watch the cat for me? He likes you.
Yeah, okay. With an uneasy
No.
voice, he agrees.
I'll hand him the cat, who starts, like, nuzzling and purring because Carl's been his buddy for a while.
Carl kind of cracks a half smile, playing with the kitty, still feeling a little off as he kind of moves closer to Grognar.
Oh, yeah, make
I
sure the
glare at
prisoners
him.
don't escape.
Yeah. And once all three of us get ready and I tell them to stay close to me, I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace on us.
Okay, what does that do now?
I'm going to link the spell. It gives a +10 bonus to dexterity checks. Anyone within 30 feet of me, including myself. It lasts for up to an hour. And we leave no tracks. The creature receives this bonus, leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage.
Okay. As you guys dip into this high wheat, the wheat is over your heads about 6 inches here and there. And you start pushing your way through.
As I cast it, they feel like, for a split second, like a warm summer, like field feel to them, like foresty feel. And anywhere they step, the plants just pop right back up.
Awesome. In doing so, you would look down here and there as you're kind of making sure you're not stepping anything foul. You would see tracks, Asher, below at your feet.
All right.
They seem to be
can I-
footprints, and they seem to have 5 chubby digits. This one has 5 chubby digits, but this one only seems to have 4.
Okay. Can I tell how big they are? Like, I'll sit my hand down near them for a scale.
Absolutely. It looks like he almost wears the same shoe size you do.
Asher wears about a size 11. So, all right. Got a big foot.
Not
Oh,
that
it's just-
big.
Thalia's just in a pissy mood.
Oh yes, her time of the month.
Needs a
Right.
fucking cup of coffee is what she needs.
I do need a cup of coffee. That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee right now.
Get her some chocolate.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Don't start fighting a hag without me.
Yeah. I'll just keep following the tracks and like point them out to everybody. And periodically I'll just tell Useless to check in with the owl, because I imagine it's still circling above.
It absolutely is. And as the creature that it was, or at least the thing or creature or person that they saw walking towards, seems to be on their way back out to the high fields that you're in. The owl would relay that information, as well as noticing that this basket that was being carried by this heavy-footed creature or thing
Mhm.
or person seems to be empty on the way back.
Alright, let's step away from the tracks that it's leaving, and I'm just gonna start veering off towards like the right, because I imagine the owl tells me which direction it's coming in, so I'm gonna try and go to the opposite direction of that and like lead the
Absolutely.
group that way.
Perfectly a-okay with me. And
Alright.
as you kind of maneuver yourselves and work yourselves in that general direction, so why don't you put your tokens on the board just for point of reference. Wow, laggy today.
So is the rectangle the field?
Yes.
Okay, where would the tracks have been? So I can kind of...
Tracks.
Alright. And then, yeah, we would just be to the right of wherever the creature is coming in.
Creature or thing or person is, let's say, the X, and they seem to be heading in this direction.
Alright, then... Alright.
All right. As you guys are waiting and heading in that general direction, you start to hear crunch, crunch, crunch with this kind of footing, this like semi kind of awkward like foot patterning. Shortly after you hear that, you hear, "Papa, Papa! Papa, wait! Papa!" And you just hear another set of footprints, or another set of feet rustling through this. You don't hear any response or reply, but you would hear this individual, "Daddy, you forgot your belt." Okay, now, I'll be inside waiting for you, okay? Okay, good. I love you too. And then kind of runs out of the field.
Alright. He's not close enough where we can see it yet, is it?
No, this is very thick. Like, this is, I don't know if you've ever ran through a wheat field or a cornfield before. You hear the shambling and sounds of crunches as, vegetation underfoot getting closer. It sounds like it's about 10 feet away.
Should we try and announce ourselves or let it pass? Can't Jesus.
The sound stops as you start to hear things hitting the bottom of an empty basket.
Oh, since we're in this field, can we tell what it is? Is it like corn or wheat, or like what type of that plant is it?
I mean, you're currently standing in wheat. Whether or not the whole field is wheat is unbeknownst to you.
Okay.
I mean, one of us could announce themselves.
All right, I'm back.
I can start making my way a little bit closer to it, just to see what it is, and then fall back to you guys.
Ian.
Alright. I'm gonna start trying to walk like off to the side, just closer to where I hear the sound, and just until I can see what the hell it is.
As you make your way, and you can peer through the high wheat, you see an individual. His back is turned towards you, kind of kneeling over a basket, and seems to be pulling out carrots from the ground and putting them into a basket, very slowly and awkwardly.
Does it look humanoid?
It does appear to be humanoid.
I'm gonna watch him for just a minute, hoping that he turns so I can see his face. Like, I know he's hunched over, but can I get an idea of like how tall this guy is?
I mean, he's crouched. He's like knelt down and pulling it out of the ground. I mean, got your foot size.
Asher's about 6'3" ish, so.
There you go.
I'm gonna slowly walk back to the group and let them know what I saw of like Kane and Eustace. See if they want me to. It looks like a person.
Maybe we should head back to the wagon and just call out to him from there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Yeah. And we'll start stealthing back towards the cabin, or towards the
wagon.
party. Sorry. Yeah, the wagon.
Okay. You get back to the wagon.
All right. It looks like a person. They have a kid. I'm not sure.
The
Should we
hag
try to-
person with the hag kid.
Maybe we can try and announce ourselves from here, or we can just say fuck it and keep moving. What do y'all want to do?
If we
Let's
want,
ask him what he is.
maybe they can give us some supplies. I don't know.
But Thalia, you were getting a weird feeling, weren't you?
The Crusader and Thalia is saying, kill them all and let God sort them out.
I feel that to an extent.
Go around murdering people.
Is that where the smell was coming from, Frog?
You feel as if it's emanating from the fields.
From just the fields.
Well, that direction. Remember, your sense doesn't go that far out, so you feel as if it's coming from the fields
Gotcha.
direction.
On that side, with the
Yes.
cabin.
Yes.
Okay.
If it is something, we can at least fight them out in the open.
I
I
think
could prep detect magic, and if maybe we can draw him out, I can ritual it with him in range.
That
Let's
takes
see.
them.
Frog, did I wasn't there for that session when we got taken by the hag, was I?
No.
I don't recall. I'd have to research it.
I don't think I
That-
did,
that
but I'm
wasn't
trying to
there for the
remember if
hag.
I'm trying to remember if I remember the smell that hag made.
You were there for the session after we were capped, while we were in her dungeon, but you weren't there whenever we met her, like the first
Right.
time. So,
Okay.
you have had interactions with her at least, though.
That's true. I don't know if I used Divine Sense though. Did I? So if I'm passively smelling something now,
I only triggered it as a freebie to you because of what you are and who you are.
okay, fair. But I was still a paladin back then.
Correct.
Okay. Alright, fair enough. I say we announce ourselves, and perhaps, at the very least, they might want to trade some carrots for pussy back there.
You're not giving up my cat.
No. The tall one that cooks food semi-well.
You're not. We're not giving up. What is your deal, Thalia? Why are you in such a bad mood?
I don't know what you're talking about, Asher.
You're being a
I'm just
dick.
trying to get. I'm just trying to get to.
Thalia, I'm saying this as a friend. You're being a Reen.
Who's Reen?
He was an old companion that traveled with us. He was kind of an asshole.
Like to take shits in the middle of the road.
Yeah, and let go of ropes and use the party as cushion and just treat us like servants.
No, kind of like how you treat Eustace.
Carl. That's how he treats Carl.
Oh, right, Carl.
Yeah.
I honestly forgot.
I'm not asking.
Just so you know,
know
I honestly forgot that I switched Carl's and Eustace's name. That was Night Came putting a slight towards Eustace. I honestly
road-
thought Eustace was the cook.
The road is no place for gentle folk who can neither fight nor fend for themselves.
Yeah, but this is a farmer.
No, I'm talking about Carl.
Yeah.
Merchants travel all the time. They can't
Yeah.
fend for themselves.
That's why there are people like me, though, Grog.
I don't know about you, but I fight better on a full stomach.
Yeah, I like having a cook with us. We're not giving up the cook. Yeah, let's just. So we announce.
I wasn't saying that we sell Carl. I was saying that we trade shit so that Carl can have carrots. That's what I was saying.
Like you were saying, we could.
No, I'm not trying to sell Carl.
Okay, because it sounded like it.
It just occurred to me that that's what you were making that up to be. No, that is not what I was suggesting.
Sounded like.
No.
Eustace is gonna get this fool. Eustace is gonna shout out to the guy like, "Hey, sir, excuse me, sir."
As you wait for a reply, you get
Fireball.
Fuck.
Are you sure there was somebody over there?
Yeah, I saw them.
Well, that doesn't mean much.
It's almost like it could be a dead man walking.
Fuck.
Bad joke.
We have to make a decision. Asher is ignoring you right now, Grog.
Sad grog noises.
Is there a window open in the hut?
There's a door that's open in the hut.
I'm gonna send Eric right into it.
So
Right in
that's
there.
going to be too far away for you to get a direct telepathic link. So your owl could absolutely do it, but you won't be able to see. You'd have to only wait for the owl to come back and tell you essentially what it saw. Just so you're aware, so we're on the same page. You're more than welcome to send him in.
All right, he can go in and come back.
Okay.
All right, guys. If he's not back in about 2 minutes, we might have to do something.
As you send your owl in, you hear a young voice. And by young, I'm going to say young teenager. Get it out! And then Eric would fly out. As Eric comes to you, lands on your shoulder, he reports what he saw. In the home, a very simple home, there was a woman figure standing in the kitchen area over a pot of boiling water. This woman stood, swaying back and forth. A young man, teenager, at the kind of cutting board area, cutting, and throwing chunks of carrot. Are you talking to us, George? Because we can't hear you if you're talking.
No,
Gotcha.
I'm mentioning something in my head, and I'm just kind of going through some things.
You're good.
And-
So you would see this boy cutting carrots and some broccoli and kind of sliding it into this pot of water that this woman is standing next to. In front of the fireplace, on. Put this up. In front of the fireplace, you see two younger boys just sitting on the floor, staring directly at each other. And that's when Eric flew out of the house. As this boy was shooing the owl out of the house. The one that was doing the cutting. Screaming, get it out of here!
Well, Eustace, what'd you see?
Well, it looks to be a normal family, so either the hag has possessed everybody and is one of them, or it's just a normal family.
Can you describe what the woman looked like? What color was her hair, you said, Frog? Or did you say?
Ooh, I need to check something for that question. Please hold it. I'm not sure the owl would be more intelligent enough to be able to register that type of detail. Give me 1 second here.
I don't know. If an owl can tell how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, probably should be able to tell colors.
I'm going to go with, and the owl would probably not have enough capacity to fully give that sort of detail.
Alright. I got an idea. We all go. Now, my pass without a trace is still up, right? Because it lasts for an hour.
Correct.
We all go, stay close to me. I can keep this stealth. And we get closer, and then, like, two of us step forward and try and engage with this person. And just see, and then the rest of us kind of hanging back. And if it turns into a fight, we all jump out.
I think I should go too.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't change targets on Pass Without a Trace, can you? Mid spell.
Each creature you you choose within 30 feet of you. Okay, so no, I'd have to drop it and recast it. Shit.
I should have come with. I really should have. Damn it. I say we just go up, and I'll go, and I'm gonna try to figure out what is making the foul smell.
Since Eustace, Kane, and myself still have this boost to our sneaking abilities, want us to try and kind of flank to the side?
Sure. Give me support without being seen, and then if things go south, then back me up.
Yeah, yourself and Grog just walk forward.
Well, maybe Grog might not be the best option, just in case they are normal.
Well,
and being that they are close to
wagon.
Yeah, and being that they are close to beaten, they might have had some bad experiences with green skins.
Yeah, have Grog stay here until we let them know if they're friendly that we have a half orc with us, and then we call Grog over, or see how the conversation goes.
Yeah.
And Grog, if you hear shooting and fighting, come running.
Just be chief.
I'm not a chief.
Okay.
And quite admirably. You are a good leader. You are chief.
Eustace is gonna activate mage armor while he's in the cart.
Sure. Absolutely. And you absolutely do so with relative ease. Carl.
And that's gonna reset my arcane ward as well.
Okay. Oh man. Carl is going to don't leave me, boss. All right.
It's a hag, Carl. You're gonna have to go all out for this one.
We don't know if it's a hag.
Oh, come on, boss. I had a great lunch planned.
Oh, they're gonna have to turn it into a dinner then. And Eustace hops out the car, or the wagon.
Carl, if it makes you feel any better, they do have carrots. I don't know what a stone fruit is, but they have carrots.
Oh.
All of a sudden, Carl wanted to come with.
Just don't forget to bring me back some.
Got it.
All right. As you guys get into the high wheat, you automatically, I'm just going to say, you guys, take a minute. Everyone else is in the flanking position. Thalia, you're kind of front and center. So as you kind of push your way through the high grass or what have you, I'm gonna actually. Well, I'll redraw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
I mean, it's not the scale. It's just more of a reference. But let's just say here. Okay. As you. Where the hell did you go? What the hell just happened?
It just flew off the table.
Oh, do you see
I have
where?
to go. My god needs me.
DM screen
Yeah, he went into the DM screen.
Son of a.
by
mother-
Teal Hand.
Oh, I see it.
It looked like you went to grab him, and then he just flew backwards.
Oh shit. Sorry about that.
Later.
All
What
right.
is this?
I was exploring the Skyrim space program. It's fine.
As you, all right. So this thing is like, crouched and leaning, lurching over this basket, and you just see an arm. I'll turn my camera onto this.
Does
Hopefully my camera.
Dillinger?
Let me see if my camera goes on.
Does Dillinger trigger my divine sense?
Well, he's purple demon babied right now, I think.
I know, but I'm asking.
Like, would he? I believe he's considered to be demon, so yeah. At least I consider him to be partial demon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this creature's this thing is like lurching over. You're looking at his back. You see he's wearing a necklace very similar to mine. You see like around the outside, and you just see the arms just kind of like grabbing, pulling, things out of the ground and putting them into the bucket. You hear a chime. Ding, 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 ding. Papa, dinner's ready. Or lunch is ready. Come quick before mom gets before mommy gets upset. And then this individual would start to stand up, lean forward, grab basket, and begin to kind of like lurch forward.
How
Little
big?
by little.
How big is it? What?
How what?
I'm having trouble picturing this. How big is it?
About the same size as Asher. Seems to be human.
And it didn't hear me walk up on it? Because I wasn't trying to be stealthy.
I know. It's in the process of walking out of the wheat.
Dude, I guess I'm gonna burn another divine sense. Is this what I was smelling?
It is as foul can be for you. It almost makes you retch.
So is it a tiefling? That I can tell?
Can you link your divine sense for me real quick? I gotta see if I have to identify that or not. I think I do, but let me just make sure.
I don't know, but there you go.
Presence of strong evil, powerful odor, yeah, heaven and music, yeah. Alright, so you can open your awareness to detect forces in your next turn. You know location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
It just gives me location, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so you get your radar is dinging to this thing in front of you as it just, once again, it smells putrid and foul like the dead.
I guess I'm going to. So she gags, obviously.
Correct.
But she's gonna kind of like stomach it, hold her hand up to her mouth area in front of her helmet, like catching it in her mouth and then swallowing it back down. And then she's gonna make herself known to the individual. Like,
Sure, what do you say?
what do I say?
Power of Christ compels you.
No. Are you a friend or foe? That's what I say.
This individual continues to shamble forward towards the cabin as it has just left the edge line of the wheat field. You can still see it, but you're in the wheat field and it just made its way into the clearing area. Maybe like a foot and a half, if that.
Citizen.
You say citizen?
Yeah.
Citizen, I
like
am here.
Louder, yeah.
Sure. You shout citizen even louder. Roll me a performance. I want to check something.
Oh god.
13.
13. You know what? 1 second.
Can
Oh boy.
As you reaffirm your statement, citizen, etc., etc., so as this creature, this thing, this person shambles to the right, you could see over his shoulder, and you would see the teenage boy in the doorway. Papa, run! And this thing is still holding the basket and just kind of shambles a little faster towards the cabin, or towards the home.
Where are those of us on the flanking detail? Do we see anything?
You tell me.
Because I mean, we would have been moving up like along the side with Thalia.
If that's the
I'd
case,
assume.
then sure. I don't see why you wouldn't have seen that.
All right,
Did you guys top off your HP or no?
I did.
I'm at where I'm supposed to be.
Can I see the boy?
Yeah,
Boy.
you would be on the there's like a little porch out in front of this home.
Does he look normal?
I mean, he's talking to somebody called Papa. I'm gonna go ahead and say he seems to be as normal as you can see at the moment.
Okay.
I just cast Compel Duel on him right now.
On who?
I'm not actually going to. I'm just
Oh.
saying I could, and then that might dispel some doubts that I might have. Oh, I'm gonna follow them and make sure to shout that I mean no harm. And that is a shout.
Eustace is gonna go back and gonna get Grognar to come forward now.
Alright, well, it's going to take
Smart.
some time for you to run back, grab Grognar, and come back. So
I don't
as
like
you haul ass back towards the car, I'm going to say what Thalia just said, that you mean no harm. Papa, look out behind you! As Papa turns around, very slowly, with the basket of carrots and broccoli still in hand, once you see the face, and actually here, once you see the face kind of look at you,
Oh god.
his eyeball is missing.
Ugh.
His face is completely like rotted away, and you can see bone and partial skull. The other eyeball has like flies that are kind of stuck to it and is kind of like buzzing around him. His neck seems to have a slash across his neck, but he's wearing a necklace which seems to glow, kind of like an ambient green light on his chest. It drops the basket on the ground. And we're going to take our 10-minute break there.
What? No.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you,
Yeah.
Thalia.
Oh my
We just found
god.
a cabin full of necromancers.
Oh my god. I'm not
Nah,
ready for that.
I don't think it's the hag. I think it's like a cabin full of necromancers.
Yeah, I'm starting to think
Well-
this isn't the hag, but this is definitely something.
Maybe
This-
she's living out her fantasy of having a family with a bunch of undead people.
I think we need to prevent Thalia from PMSing on these people.
Yeah.
Nah, they're gonna get smited so hard.
The kid didn't look undead, right? 'Cause that's what I was trying to figure out.
I mean, like I said, he was calling
Yeah.
out. He seems to be calling out. I'll leave it at that for now. He
I'm
is
sure it
across
didn't
the
take-
field, so he's going to be at least 60 to 70 feet away from you guys.
No
I'm
one
sure
in the
it-
house looked undead.
I'm
I
sure.
completely
Oh,
called
fuck.
this.
I'm sure that
complete-
the divine. I didn't need divine sense to tell that he was smelling bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he was out in the. It's a dead body out in the sun. That shit.
Yeah.
Motherfucker's bloated.
You like how I had to act that out and turn around?
That I was worried that you were gonna actually like, whip out a mask or something.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
I actually have an LED face mask that I could project pictures onto. I could probably.
Oh
do
yeah.
that. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
I'm gonna get me some water.
Yeah, take your 10. Let's say be back. I'm gonna use the bathroom anyway, as I tend to do on my breaks now. So let's
Say
be back
9:40?
at. Yeah, let's make it solid 40.
All right.
All right.
All right, cool guys. Thanks.
So this is fun. Casey,
wanna-
just so you know, I still love you. I'm just mad
Oh.
at Ragnar.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
Yeah.
I knew this would happen once it got brought up.
Yeah. Asher is having some shit right now.
He's the equivalent of a Vietnam vet after he comes home thinking that his country is gonna thank him, and then everyone keeps calling him a child killer and shit.
It's more. He's a vet that was starting to get over some trauma, like a POW, and he meets a guy, starts becoming friends with him, and realizes the guy that he's friends with helped capture him. Like, that's the shit he's dealing with. And, like,
Yeah.
helped capture his men. Like, is a lot.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for you to realize that you're What's your strength score, by the way, Asher?
A 10.
Yeah, we have the same strength. Grundar would not be able to torture y'all.
I haven't. Well, I mean, we also were tied up, beaten the shit out of, and like,
Grognar wielding a weapon is very new to him.
yeah,
He is petrified of being in melee combat.
sure does run into it a lot.
Yeah, because you guys are the first person that gave him a reason to.
Did you like my little RP about the whole chief thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the reason why Grognar calls you chief, it's not just because you are the de facto leader of the group. It's also because it's his way of like, I don't have the honor of calling your name for what I did to you in the past.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, I feel like the leaders, if we want to give a title for anyone in the group, are like Kane, Thalia, and myself. Like, we're always the three that kind of make, like, we usually have the deciding vote.
Yeah.
But,
It's mostly because I hate decisions, and I'm used to doing it in D&D. It's fucking annoying.
right?
It's like, hey, I don't want to
Well-
be a leader all the fucking time.
Plus, it makes sense since, like, in the group, Asher, Kane, and Thalia are the only ones that have been together the longest. Like, we're the three
And
original
all
members.
military-esque
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Like,
We got an angsty teenage orc, an angsty teenage fucking wizard, and then a grumpy fucking smuggler. And Thalia's over there needing some fucking chocolate because she's acting like a dick.
A fight?
Yeah, let's go.
All right,
Asher
we'll
will
fight.
win.
Yeah,
Asher won't win.
Yeah, he can keep his movement
yeah.
to help
fucking
stay
just-
away from you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can
It's
hit him.
fight-
I can
fight
hit him with
because-
long range. I can hit him with range stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That could
you're
be a
gonna
tough
lose.
fight. It would be a tough fight between Thalia and Asher, and I honestly don't know who would win. Because
Yeah,
all she
I
has to do
know
is within
Asher.
melee and hit me with the Divine Smite.
I think it would come down to who's luckier on the roll.
Yeah, because like first round I could alpha strike the shit out of her, but then it's all the rounds after that.
And if I land a hit,
Yeah,
I can throw a divine smite behind it.
that's what I'm saying.
So like,
I'm fuckity fucked.
if I can get a hit, I can do some serious damage. And if I wanted to, I could dual wield shit and get double the damage and double the divine smites
Yeah,
for my wumbo combo damage.
yeah.
How can you dual wield?
Anybody can dual wield. You don't
Well,
need the feat to dual
Right.
wield.
They have to be light weapons. You don't have any light weapons.
I have
yeah,
a hatchet.
Yeah,
I have a
You have to
dagger.
have two light weapons. Like you have to have.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
yes.
you have to have a one-handed finesse weapon or a light weapon, and a light weapon in your offhand.
Yes, or light
Oh,
weapon with
so
finesse in
so
both
the
hands.
the longsword has.
No, 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 yeah,
Longswords do not have finesse. They have
No.
versatile.
Oh.
they have
If the
versatile.
longswords had finesse, Asher would be using a longsword, not a short sword and a rapier.
Well, I can wield my dagger and my hatchet and get the
Well,
the
okay,
dual
there you
wielding
go.
going.
Yeah, there you go. But also, I hate how complicated 5th edition made dual wielding.
Yeah, dual wielding is so
Dude,
bad.
the third edition
Dual wielding is
a whole lot
trash.
worse.
Like,
But it's not better.
I really wanted to play Asher as like a dual wielder at first until I realized how fucking complicated it would be and just not worth it.
Dual wielding
Dual
bows, how
wielding
would that
is
work?
Not that complicated. It's just scrappy.
Yeah, I wanted to dual wield like short swords or rapiers because dual wielding rapiers was an actual fighting style in Renaissance. They made specialty dual wielding rapiers. One was a little bit shorter than the other.
Yeah.
And it was more of a showy style. It was meant more for theatrics than actual combat. But I wanted to do that, and then I realized like a lot of my good spells are bonus action spells, and a lot of them all work with ranged attacks, not melee attacks.
Yeah.
That's why I fixed dual wielding.
Yeah.
Dual wielding, the way it's supposed to work, is every attack you make in an attack action, you get an extra attack using your bonus action. Is
Yeah.
how it should work.
Yeah, but in order to make it work, you have to take the fight. In order to make it viable, you have to take the fighting style, dual weapon fighting, and get the feat.
Yeah, that's what I
And
was
then
gonna
it
say.
becomes actually maybe okay to use, but you still have to nerf your damage a little bit.
Any fighting style that requires a feat to be viable is not a good fighting style. Unless it's just like, unless you're trying to go, well, I mean, I guess if you're going for more flavor wise and not trying to make like a decent build, it makes sense. But
See, when I ran it, I had a character who wanted to dual wield long swords
yeah,
to get like the true damage combo without bending the rules too far. So
Yeah.
he dual wielded long swords, and I was okay with that.
like,
But otherwise, you'd have to do it with short swords. I don't think you can get a bigger weapon.
well,
I don't even think you
you
can do it with rapiers.
and
Yeah.
you could do hand axes. You could dual wield rapiers because they have the finesse and the light characteristic.
I
Or
feel
no,
like
they have finesse, so you could dual wield both of those.
the only reason to
Not
take it.
without the feet. You cannot dual wield rapiers without the feet. You
Yeah.
need
Oh,
the feet
okay.
for a one-handed weapon in both hands.
Yeah. So you could have a rapier in one hand and a like
Dagger.
dagger or hand axe in the other hand.
The way I look at it is, in the rules as written, the only reason to take it is if you're going for flavor.
Yeah, like I want to make a dual wielding fighter that uses battle axes. But that's because I think dual wielding really only makes sense with a fighter. Since
Counter,
they-
rogue.
Paladins make it good
well,
because
I meant because they don't have any other thing to do with their bonus action. Like they don't
Oh,
have to
yeah.
worry about action economy.
Mhm.
Because it's not like they have to worry about casting spells or other things like that. Like with rogues, they can use their bonus action to dash, disengage, hide, all that shit. The only thing a fighter can really use their bonus action for is to second wind. So,
Or, unless they're an Eldritch Knight fighter.
well,
Paladin-
yeah, unless they're like a certain subclass of Eldritch Knight or like Echo Knight or something. But
Paladin.
People-
That's part of the Paladin damage combo is that you just smite on
Yeah.
every single hit because you can
Yeah.
smite both for each weapon hit. if
yeah,
you're
because
dual
a
wielding.
smite is a free action.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna be right back. I have to pee.
Okay.
Smiting is as easy as breathing for a paladin.
Yeah, on the
You know what's
Monday
even
table.
easier for?
Yep, go ahead.
So, you take 1 level of Paladin, 19 levels of Wizard, or 3 levels of Paladin and 17 levels of Wizard. You now have the ability to smite, and you also can cast a 9th level spell. And there's
That's
spells
horrible.
that also allow you to increase your base damage
That's a horrible
that are
skill.
concentration spells.
Or you could
that-
just
You
go
cast haste on yourself.
18 wizard, 2 fighter, and double fireball.
No. You just
Okay.
You just take 2, or you,
Well, no, you still can do that. You still can't do that. You can't take 2 levels of fighter and breast wizard and still double fireball. The rules of the spell casting explicitly state this is all you can do in a round. You cannot cast a leveled spell, 2 leveled spells in a round. That's straight into spell casting.
Yeah, he's right. We had this discussion last week.
I
Or
watch
last time
videos
we
on
met.
it all the time saying you could do it though. So I don't know.
It's in the player handbook.
It's,
I looked it up. You can't cast more than 1 leveled spell in a round or in a turn.
that's why sorcerers can't meta magic 2 level spells, can't quick.
I linked the rule up in the general chat somewhere.
Tensor's Transformation. That's the spell I was thinking of.
Tensor transformation's a crappy spell, and then once you take it.
Well, I'm saying like if you multi-class with Paladin, it's actually amazing. Because that 2d10
No, it's
force damage plus the 2d8 or whatever you do from Divine Smite.
I have
Depending
seen
on what spell
plenty
you
of
use.
videos that break down the calculations of the damage. You're not getting what you think you are.
It's more of a they're too close to me and I can't cast a spell without hurting myself. I now have 50 temporary hit points and I can hit them. It's
Yeah,
honestly only viable if you have a Staff of Power.
what level paladin would you say you would be?
3.
Okay, that means you wouldn't get that to level 14. Tensor Transformation is a 6th level spell that requires a standard action to cast. So you get something, you maybe stop something from hurting you 1 turn. Fighters at that level average 40 damage.
What's up, sexy people?
Hey,
Debates.
Oh yeah, but I mean
per
like
hit. 40 damage per hit. So,
not
yeah.
per hit.
See,
yeah.
I love
What?
hearing y'all talk about like D&D shit because I don't know a fucking thing, so I'm learning stuff.
Did you just say fighters average 40 damage per hit?
Okay, it might be like per round,
Per
but
turn.
per turn. Yeah, fighters average 40 damage per turn at level 11. At
Yeah, because they
14,
get that extra
calculation's
attack.
A lot higher. And toss an action surge on top of that. You know, you're just kind of nerfing yourself for 50 temporary HP. Now, a better spell is Tasha's Otherworldly Guise.
Or you
Which-
just take 2 levels in fighter, the rest in paladin, so you can get action surge, and then
Isn't that what you did, though?
you
Yeah.
just go ham.
No, I believe
I'm-
she's going.
I'm,
well,
I'm
three-
two
three.
I'm 2 fighter, 3 paladin, and I will be
Okay.
doing the rest. Yeah, that is the plan.
Okay.
Or
then,
no,
yeah,
no,
the
I'm
rest-
gonna. Sorry, 3 levels paladin, 2 levels fighter at present. The rest are gonna be in fighter spell.
Yeah, you're doing your paladin thing to get your oath, and then.
Yeah.
Is you an oath of glory paladin?
I am an oath of the crown
Or
paladin.
oath of the crown? Yeah, oath of the crown, and then you're gonna be a cavalier fighter.
Yes.
Nice. So a holy mounted
So
knight.
you're not going. So you're going like 3 levels of fighter.
No, I'm going all fighter and 3 levels paladin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'll be 17 levels of fighter, 3 levels of paladin at level 20
Yes.
if we
Okay.
make it that far.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Honestly,
then-
if I was to design Kane now, because I was doing that yesterday,
Yeah.
I would have gone human mark of finding with
Can't see your phone, Grog. It's not
all
focusing
we're
on
seeing
it.
is all we're seeing is a screen.
Yeah, it's reflecting off too bad. Screenshot it and post it or something.
Yeah, that's just white. That's
It's just white. Can't
Okay,
see. You're,
The words.
Don't you have Discord on your phone? Can't you just
Love
screenshot?
Berries.
and then-
yeah, just screenshot. Is that?
Love Story by Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Of course. Hey, T Swizzle is cool.
Yeah,
Anyway.
if you like playing with penis, that's fine.
I mean,
What's wrong with
hey,
playing
So,
with
yeah.
penis?
I was
Do you
doing
not
the
play with your own
calculation.
frog?
And
Good to me.
I
I got a
would-
wife for that.
There's a lot of homophobia floating around this table right now.
But yeah, I should have gone Mark of Finding Human. I would have been it would have been better for my.
Wait, we're allowed to do the
what?
marks?
I don't
The
know.
dragon marks.
Frog said we. I mean,
I mean,
I
If
think
I had
it's
known
just
that,
maybe.
wait a.
There's not a conversation we're having right now. Anyway, so
yeah.
Hey, can I have the dragon mark of animal kinship
Yeah.
right now?
But you're already tattooed with the dragon mark of fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Middle finger right on my forehead.
Yeah. That's what the hag carved in betwixt your tits.
Oh yeah, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the cleavage there.
Yeah. It's just you just see a middle finger poking out of like your cleavage.
yeah. So Garganon knows what they expect.
That's how I
when,
smite.
When,
I just
when y'all
flash.
finally hook up.
Just a big fuck you.
Yeah. It's just it's divine titties. Just hit them in the face.
Right.
She's
I
not
knew
a cleric.
I was a paladin of love the whole time.
When I become a cleric, can my spiritual weapon be just a set of Thalia's boobs? Just kidding. Just kidding.
She would
No, he's
crucify
not.
you.
So
I know.
You know
I
what?
know.
You wanna
She'd
something
carry
funny?
you. She'd mount you on the cross, drag you to where she was going to plant you, and plant you while you're on the cross.
Wait,
Yeah.
you said she'd mount him on
What
the
did you say,
cross?
Frog?
Hey, we know what king she's
No,
into. She's gonna
I imagine
put
Thalia
you on that cross,
would
then mount you.
So
Thalia would
true
Warhammer
story.
40k Asher's ass and just put him on a shield,
What
like
I-
just his torso.
What I've had envisioned in my head ever since Thalia got like her head shaved and stuff, this is what I've always envisioned every time I think of Thalia. It's on the
God,
table.
what the fuck is that? I think. How long has it been?
Yes.
Since you've been
In-game
shaved,
time.
I don't know,
Yeah,
3-4 weeks maybe.
Yeah. So
I
you
feel
got
like
some hair grow
I
back.
think at some point in there she
You look like
she
a dyke.
just took it all off and let it start growing in as like.
Yeah.
Just
I imagine Thalia's
short
got like
stubble right
a
now.
pixie cut about right now.
No, not a pixie cut.
But I'm
Hair doesn't
talking
grow
in
that
length.
fast.
Fade, are you back?
Hair doesn't grow that fast.
Yep, I'm here.
My hair does.
All right. Fantasy Farmland.
Yeah,
Alright.
she's Thalia's
I've
got
always,
some GI
So as
Jane
my
going on.
so for the surprise round on the zombie, I'm gonna smite.
So
Alright,
I'm gonna
when did
get-
Caleb become a murder hobo?
I'm looking for just some ambient photo here, just to kind of get an idea of the feel of the location. So
Look
So-
up
Kevin, you see the pad is messed up. Can you please pause your fucking video game and maintain the simple things that you are supposed to maintain? We don't ask for much, guys. Come on now. Don't make me take away the Xbox from you guys.
So flashbacks to 14.
I was thinking,
Josh.
if you look up Midwest Gothic as an aesthetic on Google, you'd probably get some interesting.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in
Like
mind
your
for next time. Absolutely.
Look
I will.
up
I'm
Goth Cottage Core.
I'm going looking for you. Yeah.
All right,
Carry
guys.
That's
on.
what I'm imagining.
Let's get back into frame here. So, and don't mind me, I'm eating soup as well as DMing at the moment. So here we go. As the vision that I had portrayed happened, I mean, Thalia, you'd be the very first one to. I mean, this is practically 5 feet, 10 feet in front of you. So as this creature turns around, clearly a dead man that's turning around, looking at you, kind of. It doesn't seem to be charging you or aggressive towards you.
It's undead. That's all the reason I need.
As far as you can tell, it's undead.
It smells like an undead. And if it smells like an undead, then it is an undead in the way that Thalia sees it. So are we in combat or am I on the round right before
We're
combat?
in RP combat.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. That's a that's a that's a zombie as far as Thalia is concerned.
I mean,
It
you would
needs to
know.
die.
You've seen one before. This is definitely a zombie.
Okay. Then she's gonna conjure her javelin of light with sacred flame, and she's gonna jam it directly through the skull.
As
of
you
the
begin
zombie.
to conjure, the teenage in the door. No! Don't hurt my papa! And go ahead and make your attack.
He actually needs to make a DC 12 saving throw.
Oh, okay. 2 does not do it.
Yeah, that's going directly. So she's just gonna kind of like conjure it and then straight up into his under here, straight up into his skull.
As you jab
Fuck.
under its skull, it doesn't take much effort.
Oh, it's 7 damage. Yeah.
It doesn't take much effort to decimate this creature, as its head practically gets torn almost fully off its body, and it
And that was
shambles.
actually like 14 damage because I'm pretty sure radiant is doubled on undead.
Sure, that works for me too.
Yeah.
As it shatters and falls to the ground, no, can be heard. As the creature falls to the ground, the necklace it was wearing, the green little emanating idol, begins to zzz, pop, and it pops and blows up. A little small, like firecracker explosion. And you see this misty, kind of smoky, eerily spiritual-like kind of fog cloud just come on, a little small thing, kind of just start to and kind of just hovers into the air and dissipates into the sky above. This teenager runs out and dives to his papa. Why would you do this? What are you doing? No! Why would you do this?
I want to do the dad,
the true
the
BBEG.
dad grab and just like it was dead, son.
It wasn't
was
dead,
already
it was
dead.
my dad. No, no.
Fuck.
I don't know. Sucks to suck. Not actually gonna.
You see this person just holding the remains of his father, just pulling him closer and tighter, bawling.
I'm just gonna stroll right on past because
Wow.
I gotta investigate the rest of this issue to make sure that the actual not dead persons are safe
I'm
from
gonna.
potentially dead people.
Thalia, you begin to walk towards the cabin. What's up, Asher?
I was just gonna have a little RP with Kane and turn to look at him like, what the fuck? And what the fuck should we do? I didn't think she'd just attack it.
Make sure she doesn't murder anybody else.
Fuck! I mean,
Are
I
we
guess
sure
we could see that it was like a zombie, but still.
I know.
Fuck! What should
Listen,
should
we gotta
stay
get her.
hidden? Or
No,
go
it's,
forward?
it's too late. Let's see if we can calm down this kid. Make sure she doesn't murder anybody because, like, I'm starting to question her
Yeah.
sanity. I don't
Yeah.
even know if she follows any good gods anymore.
Yeah. And I'm gonna run forward and try and put myself in front of Thalia.
Okay, as you do that, we're gonna pause that moment in time. Eustace, you've gotten Grognar, and you guys are heading on your way back. So you and Grognar, as you're pushing through high vegetation, i.e. the wheat field, about 10 feet away, you start hearing screaming, like, ah, no! And as you make it to the scene, all you would do is look down, and you would see this teenager kind of like squeezing to you guys what looks like a decapitated zombie.
Jesus Christ. Gonna. I'm gonna look for Thalia and see where she's at right now.
You see Thalia marching across this field, not this clearing rather, and you see Asher currently like trying to get in front of her, kind of trying to slow her down, and you hear words being kind of put back and forth. You don't know what those words are yet because we haven't RP'd it yet, but that's what you would see. As you look to the left, you see Kane. What is Kane doing as Grognar and Thalia? Grognar and Eustace would kind
Kane?
of peer in your direction.
Kane goes and checks on the kid. It's like, hey. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, just hey, try and calm down. This.
Go away! Go away! You guys are bad! You're bad!
She shouldn't have done that. I don't know why she did that, but we're gonna find out.
Shut
I
up!
don't understand
You
what the
killed my
disconnect
papa!
is.
You killed my papa!
I'm just trying to. Kane's just gonna keep trying to reason him by also looking at Asher and see what him and Thalia are saying.
Actually, before that happens, I want to hear what Grognar's doing in this moment in time.
Grognar just kept walking, pissed off to no high end.
I don't understand what the disconnect is.
Walking where?
Needed to
Grognar?
see what the fuck was going on.
Towards Thalia.
What's like? Okay, so
It's
Asher,
dead.
as you get, you're walking, you're speed walking, or at least a slight jog, to get in front of Thalia. As I assume you're trying to like hold me back, man, hold me back. You're kind of like, trying to intervene. Grognar is about 15 feet behind Thalia as you break Thalia's line of sight and neck. No, I'm just kidding. Line of sight. What do you wish to say to Thalia?
I'm gonna step in front of her and be like, Thalia, what the fuck? Like, I get he was undead, but we kind of needed to figure out what the fuck was going on before we just started attacking.
Undead is undead.
Yeah.
Doesn't change anything.
We don't know what the fuck is going on.
If it's undead, it's undead. If it was
he was
just
picking fucking carrots and didn't attack you. He just turned to look at you.
You know what?
We don't know what's going
Undead thralls are more often than not unwilling subjects to their masters.
Okay,
Even if
You
they're
don't know
passive.
what's going on here, Thalia.
Undead is undead.
I get that.
Hey,
But we
you're
don't know
going
what's
off
going on.
half-cocked like a loose fucking cannon. You're acting like a bitch lately, and you don't. And none of us deserve this.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm killing undead. That's what
Yeah.
I'm
but
supposed to do.
You've also been being an ass to Carl, who's done nothing but cook for us. You've been kind of snappy to the rest of us. What the fuck is going on? And now you just killed this thing. We have to figure out what the hell is happening here. You went in guns blazing when we were supposed to talk to them. We agreed to talk to them.
What was
Not
the undead
attack.
zombie gonna say?
We don't,
Maybe not the
obviously
undead
he's not going to
zombie,
say
but the
anything.
kid,
But
his mother,
the people.
or somebody else. Hell, this could have been a clue to something even bigger, and you went on and just started attacking like a madman.
Mad woman.
Even if the even if the zombie was passive now, there's no necromancy is extremely unwieldy magic, and it wouldn't take much to disrupt the spell in such a way that it would become a menace to all of the living around.
That doesn't give you the right to start attacking things without cause.
Yeah.
I
Just like
have
you.
the God-given right to attack
Oh.
undead without cause.
You do not have the
You
God-given
lectured
right to
me
do anything you want.
You lectured me
It's
about not
undead.
killing orcs that tortured and killed my men, but you can go around killing stuff.
I don't
You're
have
a
time
fucking
for this.
hypocrite is
There
what
might
you
be.
are.
I don't have time for this. There might be other
Oh, you gonna
undead
make
in
time
that
for it.
house, and I'm gonna shove Asher to the side.
I'm not
I'm
gonna let you.
grappling Thalia and hoping one of the two help me.
Okay.
Grapple Thalia.
I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck. We were supposed to talk to him.
It's an undead. It's supposed to die. It's
But the-
unnatural for it to not be dead.
Will I have
don't
advantage
know
or
how to
will Thalia
handle
have
this.
disadvantage with the help frog?
I'm debating whether or not I'm going to allow that action to happen because I like
Yeah.
the way this RP is going, and I understand the motive there. However, I could see it spiraling pretty quickly out of
Yeah.
control, and that's what I want to.
There would be no fighting on my part. If she wants to hit me, I would let her, but I'm not gonna try and hit
No,
her.
I get that. I would like to say I get what you're saying. So if anything, I would like to reflavor that as if you put a hand on her, but not in a manner of restraint, more of a manner of like, yo, like quit it. You know what I mean? That kind of concept.
He's given me the dad grab.
The dad. I don't know what the dad grab is.
The dad grab
My
is
dad
to
always
grab
grabbed
your
me by the
shoulder.
throat.
No, the dad grab is
Wow,
grabbing
that's
on the
it,
shoulder.
No,
That's child abuse.
that's abuse.
So before even any of that goes on, the one person we haven't heard from yet, Eustace. All this is happening. Chime in, sir.
I'm gonna walk over to the boy and I'm like, so who gave your dad that nice little necklace he's got?
Fuck you! Fuck you all!
Valid.
Valid.
Who knows?
Just
Maybe
leave my home, leave my brother, leave my family alone.
so who gave him the necklace?
Fuck you!
Fine.
Stop laughing.
And uses is gonna step off to the side.
Okay, you step off to the side. Presumably to go pee. As Thalia makes her way, closer to, so Thalia, it's clear that Grognar wishes to dad grab you, or Trump grab you, you know.
Wow.
So you're welcome to RP that however you see fit. However, once again, this is not a PvP table, so work with that in mind, please.
Thalia's goal is to make sure that there is no other threats to living creatures. So she is going to go. Her goal here is to get to the cabin and make sure that there are no more undead. That's what's going on.
So would I be able
And
to?
that is.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So, regardless of what everybody else thinks, she believes it's her duty to make sure that undead are not going to be a problem. So she is going to continue to move towards the cabin, regardless of what happens, because it is in the best interest of people.
Do you audibly speak this rationale to your team?
No.
Okay.
But she is going to behave in that way.
Absolutely.
I
As
don't
a
want to.
paladin would.
Yeah.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
It's almost like I pre-planned this. So, as Thalia continues to be on a mission, unbeknownst to you, the only thing that she said to you is undead's undead, regardless of its use. That at its core, it comes from a place of desecration and evil, regardless on how you use it. You can find a briefcase of stolen money and spend it. It doesn't make it your money or a good action. That being said,
So,
as you three, you're more than happy to respond. I heard Grognar's voice first, so Grognar, you're welcome to jump in.
by that logic, the god who made orcs, a being who desecrates and murders every living thing that's not an orc, I deserve to die now as I stand by your same rules.
You're not undead. You don't follow the same. I don't
Orcs
consider
raid
you.
and pillage and kill, all greenskins do, without any consent for anything other than other greenskins.
You're a living being, and you fought, and therefore, by my creed, you are under protection. Or at least have basic rights. But an undead is not a living creature, nor does it have a soul, nor does it have any.
Have you studied the workings of necromancy? Because I have. I've learned of the rules of it. The rules of it are to bind the soul
Hold
to
on
a
one
body.
second, guys.
Savage?
Sure, yeah. Thank you.
You had to step
Sorry
away
about
for a
that, guys.
second.
Oh,
Sorry about
you
that.
scared me. I'm like, where the fuck do you go?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm here now.
The power of necromancy is to bind the soul to to a dead body and make the soul completely forget what it was, to bend it to your will, so it has no free will except to devour. That is
Is
what
that
an undead is. It's so whoever makes it has complete control of it as long as they do not get attacked. By that logic, then that means the person who casted the spell should be killed, not the undead. And then if the undead still cannot process logic, therefore it is technically a machine, if anything, not an unholy being.
so? I need to ask for clarification on lore and law within the world here.
Okay, go ahead.
What is the public perception on undead?
Not very friendly on the general scheme of things. However, that's subject to interpretation. So the common knowledge is undead bad, undead evil, undead eat you kind of situation, right? That's the general consensus of the population. But it doesn't always make it true. Now, obviously, you're going to have your own ways of thinking and your own logic, and you're totally in character, and I'm totally down for it.
Yeah.
So
I'm
however
just
you wish to interpret it.
so now, because I was just interpreting undead as like my own general idea from pop culture as being a soulless being, and the way Grognar is explaining it contradicts that. So my question is, how does it actually work? And would Thalia know how it actually works?
So I guess if we're talking out of character lore, much like vampirism or anything really, to me, everything has a scale of gray, from black to white to gray, and that scale can be pushed. So I'll give you the example. An undead could be the work of a necromancy or a lich. An undead could naturally form based on a restless spirit. It could manifest through a projection of someone's evil. I mean, there's so many different ways in this world that an undead it could be the work of a magic item, an inanimate thing. Maybe it just looks like a zombie, but in reality it's a flesh golem. You know what I mean? There could be a lot of gray to that scenario. It's like my vampirism. Could it be a virus? Yes. Could it be magical? Yes. Could it be natural? Yes. So it depends on stuff. I know it's a very vague response, but it's made to be vague intentionally.
So then, in order to get some solid ground to stand on here for Thalia's argument, what is the Holy Empire's stance on necromancy?
Currently at war with the Vampire Counts and the Tomb Kings, which are predominantly undead creatures.
Okay.
Yeah, Holy Empire, just the title Holy itself, typically doesn't have room for anything undead. Typically.
So, I think it's important for the rest of the party, if they have any understanding of that, to understand that that would be my ground, and I feel like they would know that.
The concept is, yes, I'm pretty sure they do. The reality of the circumstances is this, and now obviously you guys met in Beaton, you guys all met in a random happenstance sort of festival situation. The issue is now where their angles are is the question of morality, right? Yes, it's an undead, but clearly, A, it wasn't hostile. But to you, who gives a fuck? Because it's an undead. Like, there should be no attachment to an undead because it doesn't deserve to even exist. But they're like, well, shit, that was someone's dad. You know, it's hitting those characters on a different plane. Their plane is more emotional response versus this is the right judgment. This is what needs to happen because there's no room in the world for undead. So there's a clash of character and perspective here, which is almost like I wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
Asher isn't mad that you killed the undead. It's the circumstance of like, we needed to talk to them because Asher kind of does the gray area stuff. And it's like, we needed to talk to them. And now we can't talk to them because you were hostile and killed their dad. And
that's part of where Kane's at.
Yeah, like, Asher understands undead are generally bad, but in this situation, it's that morally gray area, and he was okay with the lesser of evils right now.
And you have to remember, Cain is a protection. It's a technically practices blood magic. I mean, you know,
That's sanguimancy, not necromancy.
Yeah, but
I think what Kane's trying to say is that it's.
Something tells me
not
blood
that
magic
far
is
from the
well
slope.
on.
Okay.
But nevertheless, as your reasoning is going back and forth, the young child excuse me, let me rephrase that. The young teenager sees Thalia heading towards this cabin, shack, home. And as Thalia is walking, he would dive and hang on to.
God dang it.
Is it raining, Mom?
Dog has to hold that pose forever. Caleb, you're hot micing, by the way. So how about this one?
So, you like pizza?
Dog, what's your opinion on pineapples on pizza?
Doable under the right circumstance. It's not bad.
All right,
I actually am a
man
big
of
fan
class.
I'm a fan of contrasting flavors. In fact, I think flavors are at its best when they contrast. For example, salted chocolate.
Love salted.
Peanut butter and jelly. You know, they're
have you ever had
opposite?
Have you ever had a chocolate bar with potato chips inside of it?
I have, actually. I have.
They're fucking amazing.
They're not bad. They're not bad. Not my cup of tea, but they're not bad.
Yeah. If you like the alternate flavors, try a Hawaiian pizza. You know, the pineapple Canadian bacon. Add olives to it, like green
I don't
olives.
do olives. Don't do olives.
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't do olives, but
I don't do olives. I don't do pickles. I don't do horseradish.
Why?
Because they're fucking gross and evil.
if you like olives, try that on your pizza. It does a really good contrasting sweet, tangy from the sauce, and then that sour, briny flavor of the olives.
The thing about pineapples on pizza is pineapples are exceptionally sweet. I do not think they need to be put in chunks, but more of
Shreds.
That's part of the sauce.
shreds. Yes, shredded on there.
I agree.
As our D&D session turns into an episode of Ramsey's Kitchen or some shit.
We had to fill the space somehow.
We only have 1 hour left.
Yeah, we got
pointing that out.
We got stuff to do here.
You're the one that stepped away.
So as you're walking towards the home, Thalia, this teenager, you don't see him running towards you, but you see him dive in your direction, and he actually latches onto your arm, or the bottom of your leg, like your ankle, like he's holding onto your ankle so you don't move. No, don't go in there.
Why you gotta do this to me, Frog?
Why do I do this to you? Because you're a fundamentally flawed character, and I think it's wonderful. I think it's absolutely wonderful.
You're gonna make me act up.
The chosen one.
You're the one that wanted to be the chosen one.
So I don't know if I'm actually gonna do this, but what happens if I guess I didn't see him doing it, so I can't really have it happen. But I was wondering if I could use the the gauntlet of helm to shield right before he grabbed me.
You'd have to have your visual on him to be able to do that. I mean, you can. I just don't think it would be reasonable. Not really seeing what's happening. Your attention is so like, we got to make sure these people are safe. And to me, Thalia would only focus on that at this point in time.
So she is rash, and she is acting very rashly in this situation. However, she is not to the point where she is going to harm a kid. So she's going to see this happen, and she's going to turn around and grab this kid by the arms and like kneel down and get on his eye level.
Okay.
And like hold him there and say, "Your father was dead."
No, he wasn't. He was my dad. You killed my papa.
He was already dead.
Obviously, the kid's
What
squirming,
you-
but your powers,
Yeah.
you're stronger than
Yeah.
him.
What you thought was your father was no longer your father.
No, no. He gave me the gift. He told me to put it on him. He was there. It was him. It was him.
This is why we needed to talk.
Are there any other undead in the house?
Intimidation or persuasion?
It's gotta be persuasion. It's not intimidation. It's like serious, and there's that like tension in the air.
Roll it.
But it is not in. It is not intimidation.
Okay. Go
Very
ahead and roll
clear.
it.
Of course.
What'd you get?
Wow, a 3.
3. That's
Wait, no. You know what? I'm using my inspiration.
Okay.
That is a 16 now.
Can I cast message on the boy and tell him to say no? And fight her persuasion?
Hey, you gotta re-roll it.
I mean, the roll's already been cast, unfortunately. That wouldn't be right. I'm gonna let this one play out. You're more than welcome to message the child after this interaction. I'm okay with that, if that's alright with you. Nevertheless, with a 16... They're alive to
I
me.
can't hear you.
They're alive to me. They're my family. You don't understand. I got them back.
I just walked away from a city that had been decimated and nearly destroyed because of an undead army. I have no way of knowing how much control they are under.
I don't
They
care.
must be put down.
These are my No! Leave my brothers and sisters alone.
They will be safe as long as they are alive.
They're
Asher,
alive. They're alive.
are you going to help me or not?
I understand why you think we need to kill undead. I get it. But we needed to talk to them to figure out what the fuck is going on.
We can talk to them once I know they are safe.
They're alive.
Fuck.
I swear they're alive.
Oh yeah, I'm
And there's
not
no
gonna let
reason-
you go in there.
Then they will be safe
You're not
when
going
I go
in.
in there to make sure that
Thalia.
there is no other threat.
You're not going in. You're staying here. I'll go in and look. You've done enough. And I'm going to turn and walk towards the house.
I think
Sure.
you need to go back to the cart, Thalia.
As you walk towards the house.
We were supposed to talk to him, Thalia. We
As
were
Asher-
supposed
This
to
is-
talk to him.
I got you. This is great. I like where this is going.
Okay.
As Asher begins to walk to the house, Grognar, I'm going to give you a moment to interject here, because you talking about the message before and yada yada yada. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to contribute to the situation. So go ahead.
I would cast message to the boy and say, me and girl go back to cart. Man will go inside, won't do harm. He can respond mentally.
He can. I'm just trying to think of. You would just hear, "Get out of my head, freak."
Knockdown.
Outside, like without using message, I would say, you are correct. I am free. Pretty woman, let's go. And he's standing in front of her like arms crossed.
Fair enough. I'm assuming Jusis is still just kind of kicking rocks on the side.
I'm gonna mage hand and snag that necklace that the Papa
It
had.
exploded.
Absolutely.
Oh, it exploded?
Well, okay, so like, see my necklace? How there's a little dangly here with a little ornament. The ornament exploded, but this necklace is still a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not worth anything.
Okay.
All right. Okay, go ahead, Kane. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm just going to be following behind Asher and just kind of making sure Thalia doesn't approach the house.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and go right into first-person perspective of Asher as he takes his 3 steps up to the not balcony, the fucking
Deck.
the deck, the porch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, if
And
if
it's like
you're going in, then I'm going in too.
No,
No, you're not.
You've done
So
enough.
Grognar and Kane would kind of block the stairway, preventing Thalia access for the moment. At least long enough for Asher to see what's going on inside. And as that scuffle's happening, I wouldn't call it a scuffle, but as that awkward interaction happens, through Asher's eyes, you would walk in. And the home is homey. You quickly look around to see what's going on, and in the kitchen next to some boiling water that at this point is boiling over, you just see a woman just kind of standing back to you, looking in the corner, just kind of swaying back and forth. You see two younger boys in front of the fireplace to your left, and they're just kind of like sitting Indian style. And there's like toys in front of them, but they're not playing with the toys, they're just kind of looking at each other.
Do they have necklaces on as well?
As you appear around, the one boy that is facing you, who clearly is looking like the bottom of his lip was ripped away, you do see a similar necklace. Unfortunately, the female and the other boy facing away, it's not the right angle to fully see it, but you would assume a similar situation.
Does it smell like decomposing dead bodies?
No, actually, you smell like a pot of stew that's burning on an open flame as the carrots kind of simmer over, and the stew is kind of simmering over. However, if it's out of character, if Thalia was to pop another divine sense, she'd probably vomit.
I don't have any more.
Yeah, I'm just saying if.
I imagine Asher just kind of had his head poked in, not fully in the door yet.
You're still in the doorway. That's what I thought as well.
I'm gonna step inside and see if I can maneuver around to see at least the other boy sitting there.
The other boy.
But first, does me stepping across the door have any reaction to them? No. Okay.
No, but you kind of, you slowly do that Walking Dead kind of look, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And as you kind of peer around, this boy's face seems to be intact, be it emaciated and dehydrated as the skin has started to shrink, What you would see is that the whole arm here, you could see just all the bone popping out of the arm here.
Yeah.
And you also see what looks like a scratch across the shoulder.
Still the same necklace on him as well.
It does appear to be a similar type of necklace, yes.
All right. If I walk up closer to the boy with the claw marks across his chest, can I tell if they're like animal or like, was it a monster or just like a bear or something that clawed him?
You can make a medicine check, and it'll be an easy one. I mean, it's pretty clear what you're looking at.
5.
Even with a 5, it does look like a maul type of situation. This definitely looks like some sort of a claw. Even the father outside had his face like torn with the eye missing. The child that you originally saw facing you had a gash across its neck. And I mean, as far as what you've seen so far, that's what you see. Now, what you find peculiar is in particular the shoulder gash that we were just discussing.
Yeah.
Big fingers.
Big. Okay. I mean, this has definitely given Asher some really weird feelings because he's been around dead bodies before. He knows they should smell, especially decaying ones, and there's no odor. He's gonna just shake his head and just say, "What in the gods is going on?" and walk out. And
Frog, I have a question real quick.
What's up?
The kid that I grabbed.
Yeah.
He was fine, right? There was nothing visually wrong with him that I could see.
That you could see or tell. He seemed to just be a teenager who's upset.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I'm gonna walk back out, and Asher's gonna. It fucked with him. Seeing what's inside definitely fucked with him. And you can see Asher's a little pale, and he's kind of just shaking his head, and he's like, I don't know what in the hell is going on here. but
It reeks of undead, Asher, and
I
it
know.
needs to be dealt with.
Thalia, shut up. You've made your point.
as that interaction happens, I mean, the boy, who's not being held anymore, makes a dash for the doorway and tries to push between Grognar and King.
I allow him.
I'll allow him. I'll allow him to go in.
They
I
squeak
have no
by.
problem.
Technically, Thalia, you would have a reaction too. You're welcome to make a reaction as the boy would dash technically
Opportunity attack.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, that
No.
You won't start.
Ragnar would not look past you hitting a child.
Asher would throw a dagger at your face.
King will draw his sword.
Yeah.
This is my duty, and if you're going to stop me, then I will have to.
Thalia, it looks
I'm not
like...
stuttering. I'm not stuttering in character.
Oh, let him finish his sentence.
Let me compose. Yeah, let me compose this in
Okay.
my mind here.
I wasn't sure if that was RP or just trying to figure out what you're saying.
Yeah.
Both.
This is no quality of life for a child. If you're going to stop me from fixing this, then I will have no choice but to subdue you.
Oh,
And
you
will
stop
have to
yourself
subdue
from
me to
fixing
stop
this.
me.
Hold on. Let him finish his sentence.
Well, King would have interrupted by saying that. That's why I did that.
Gotcha.
I understand that, but from what I saw in there, the boy lost his family to being mauled by something, and he just wanted to have his family with him.
And is he
I'm
going?
not-
And what is he going to grow up to be like if this is the way that he has to live? This is
I
no
don't know,
quality
but
of
I
life
can-
for a child.
But part of
Sorry,
me can
you're right.
understands
There's
it.
no
I have a
possible
family.
life for it.
One
For a
person,
child.
One person at a time, please.
Sorry.
I
Sorry,
have
you're
a
right.
family back home. Sorry, go ahead,
Sorry.
Kane.
You're right. This is no quality of life for a child. But going in there with violence is not the way to reach him. Violence is how he lost his family. As far as he's concerned, you're just as bad as the monster that killed him in the first place.
I can be that for him as long as it keeps him safe.
You're
and
going to
prevents
turn
from
him
running.
against anything that would have been good and kind in the world.
He
Killing
will
his
survive, and that's what's important.
During
Yes,
this
he will
interaction,
try to become the next most horrible thing that someone
He-
like us will have
So
to face.
help me, and
Get
take
back
him
to the
back
cart.
to the cart.
During-
No,
That's
you
what-
take him back to the cart.
during this interaction, hold on. During this interaction, the boy would slip into the home, and audibly, you'd all hear, "Mama, Cyan, Dory, hide in the back room," and you would hear shuffling across wooden planks.
and just killing them, all it's going to do is make him angry.
He has to be
But-
the one to let them go. You cannot
Yes.
you cannot force it onto him.
If you force him to make this decision, he's just going to turn into a monster. That's how you make more enemies. If we can talk to him, figure out what's going on, and try and communicate what happened, we can do this without having to kill anything. I
So let him
understand.
let
It
go.
bothers me because this is going against nature. This is exactly what like the wild mother wouldn't want to happen. But we're all like, we have to be compassionate to this young kid that probably saw his whole family die and is just trying to keep them there with him.
Can you do me a favor?
He's a scared boy.
Do me a favor.
Dang.
I would like you to place your tokens in front of the picture of the house that I drew on the board there. How you feel you'd be facing during this conversation.
So I'm here, and Kane and Grognar are between me, and I'm assuming Asher is still standing kind of in the
He'll
doorway.
probably be in the doorway at this point, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like on the deck behind them, kind of looking down at you,
Yeah.
talking.
That's how I pictured it too.
I'd also be kind of glancing back to just see what the kid is doing while I'm talking, because I'm not going to completely ignore that there's 3 dead bodies that he's in control of behind us.
Absolutely. As you look, and yeah, it's going to be laggy for a second. Sorry, I had to load something up.
Mhm.
But as you kind of, you're having this talk, the boy has shouted his command or whatever. You hear the shuffling. You look over your shoulder, Asher. You see the boy go to the cutting board and grab the kitchen knife and begin to charge out of the door.
I'm gonna try and just, like, I know he's probably trying to like come and stab one of us. I don't want to like hurt him. I just want to try and grab him to like do an arm lock to lock his hand and hold him, if that makes sense.
As you grab him, you don't necessarily get the dagger hand, and you're holding him back though. Like you're kind of pinning him against the door frame, and you just see him doing one of these things towards Thalia.
I'm gonna
You
try
kill
and
my
talk with him.
papa! You kill my papa!
Son, listen to me. Listen to me. I understand what happened. I'm sorry for what happened to your papa. What happened here? Just, I'm not gonna hurt you or your family. You saw that. I walked in there, I walked out. I didn't hurt them. What happened? I can tell they were attacked by something, and you just want your family here with you. What happened?
As you're talking to him, he drops the knife and he bites your arm so you let him go, and he bolts to the back room.
Can I can't do anything to try and grab him or anything.
I mean, I'm gonna say you kind of retched for the like, you motherfucker, kind of one of those situations. No damage, obviously, because that wouldn't be fair.
I'm gonna try and walk after him and just not necessarily walk after him, but like try and keep an eye on him. But I have my hands up and I'm just saying like, hey, I'm not here to hurt you. I don't know what my friend is. I just want to talk.
So he went to a back room. As you follow and kind of at least look into the room, you'll see an older woman facing the doorway in the corner. Like she's in the corner, facing out towards the doorway that you're walking through, and she's just kind of like. And then you see two young boys in front of her, both.
This is a scene in the zombie movie where I have to kill a kid.
As you continue to get line of sight to see where the boy is, you see in the corner he's lighting a candle in front of a shrine. And in this shrine, you see pictures of each one of the family members.
Fuck. Just stop, please. I just want to talk and figure out what happened. I can tell you lost your family. I don't want this to be any more violent. Don't want any more violence.
Get out of here! I don't want you here! Leave us alone!
Do I have eyes on the kid?
He's in the back room. I would say you're still kind of at the front door. I would assume everyone's curious at this point and would go in the building. Is that a thing? Can I assume that? Or are we still hard passing? All right, we're still hard passing.
We're letting Asher handle this. We're keeping Thalia from going inside.
I am going to attempt to shove past Grognar
I am going
and
to
Asher.
stop you.
And so I'm not gonna. Kane and Grognar don't regard this because it's not something you would know, but I'm trying to communicate what I want to do to Frog.
Okay.
Separating character from player. Very easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my idea here is I want to get in there, get eyes on him just enough so that I can cast command on him and tell him to stop.
Well, I'm gonna answer that by saying this. As a DM, I'm always gonna make things happen for the better of the story, right? I'm gonna say you kind of do a fakie a little bit and kind of bolt through those two. And as your armor has created a wedge between Kane and Grognar, enough for you to slip through and you make into the home. Those two, with the intentions to stop you, follow you into the home. And I'm going to say you're both in the living room area as you would see Asher standing in front of a doorway pleading with a child.
Asher just really doesn't want to have to kill kids.
Do I recognize what the kid's like in this split second? Do I recognize what the kid's doing with the candle?
You still don't see him though. He's in the back room.
Okay.
Yeah. You're like in the living room area where the kids were playing. In fact, you probably shuffled the toys that they were playing with. Well, they were staring at.
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch Asher's arm, and I'm gonna kind of like pull him so that he's looking at me.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, Asher, we need to stop this before it becomes a problem. Let me subdue the child without killing him. And I won't kill any people. And we'll do it your way. But if it goes out of hand, I'm going to have to do what I think is necessary.
I've done a lot of fucked up stuff. I don't want to add killing kids to it.
The kids are dead. We're not going to kill the live one.
He's not. And I'm going to step aside and I'm going to let her go to cast. But if she...
Okay.
If you hurt the kid, we're going to have problems.
The kid is safe. I swear it on my oath.
As you step aside, you see Grognar and Kane kind of approaching. I assume Asher would kind of do the whole, just give it 1 second kind of situation.
Yeah, I'd hold up a hand and just the gesture for him to, like, hold.
I'm assuming you guys are okay with the hold command at this moment?
Yep.
All right. As that's happening, what is the guy kicking rocks outside doing?
I got a bit close. Detect magic ritual.
Okay, it's gonna take some time. So that takes about 10 minutes to cast. So you start working that juju, going back into the home.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you, sweetheart. As you walk into the room, you would see the family in the corner, and then once again, they're clearly zombies. In fact, the woman has it the worst. Her claw mark is like straight down her face and down the middle of her bosoms, and it's just shredded open. One of her fucking titties are probably even hanging to the side. It's pretty bad. But nevertheless, you would see the child who cracked a match and lit a candle. You see the shrine, which has like a chicken that has been kind of sliced open with the pins, and like the innards are like the chicken's still pretty much intact, but like you're dissecting the chicken, but it's in front of him and it has a beating heart in the middle of it. And you start to see this child relighting candles. He kind of fumbles a little bit as he's trying to hurry.
Before he is able to progress any farther with whatever he's doing,
Yep.
I'm going to cast command, and I'm going to command him to stop.
Okay, that's a wisdom saving throw, right?
Well, that's a good question. I don't see where it says it, so give me a second. One word command. Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn.
What's your DC?
12.
I failed.
Alright. Then I don't exactly know what that would entail. Does he just freeze in place,
Well,
or
what's the command again?
simply stop?
He just stops moving. And then kind of stands up.
This lasts for one round of combat, so 6 seconds.
Okay.
Asher,
I'm gonna.
help
yeah.
me get the kid so that he is not doing whatever he is currently doing.
I'll go get him.
Okay.
You grab the
And-
kid with ease, and as the command breaks, he's like, "Get off me! Leave me alone! Let go of me!"
You're okay. You're okay. And I'm just walking backwards with him.
And the
with
zombies
her
are still
You're still
not doing
in the
anything?
room with, you are alone
Okay.
in the room, Thalia, with these 3 zombies in the corner. The 2 children and the 1 mother figure.
They aren't being aggressive towards me when I grab them or anything.
Not at all.
Okay.
Asher, we'll do this your way.
I-
I won't cause any harm to them unless they become hostile. I swear.
I can respect that, and I want you to know I understand where you're coming from, but I can also sympathize with the kid, and that's why I just want to talk. See what happens. And I'll just ask the kid again, like, hey, we got off on the wrong foot. I just want to know what happened. What I can tell your family was attacked, and that you just want to keep them around because you don't want to be alone. What happened? Can we start there? My name is Asher. What's yours?
The kid would.
While this
Let me get
while
the
this
kid,
is
let me-
happening-
Let me get the kid real quick. 1 second. The kid would just break into the most deepest, dankest cry, like his soul is crying right now.
Yeah.
Now, Thalia.
I'm worried about that pot that is boiling. So I'm gonna stop that from happening before the house burns down too.
Okay.
Smart. Once he starts bawling like that, Asher just kind of spins him in the bear hug, and it turns into from restraint to like trying to like a comforting hug. Because Asher has a younger brother that's like a young teenager. He's like 13, so like he's going into like that older brother mode.
Yeah, this kid looks to
And-
be
Dad
about
grab.
14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Dad
So he's kind of just he's giving him a hug, letting him just cry it out,
Get off me!
and is still
Fuck
trying
you!
to talk to him.
Get off of me!
Yeah.
Run! Run!
Just stop.
You would hear glass break from the room.
If you make them run, Thalia's gonna probably get upset. So just have them stop.
Mom,
We're
run!
not gonna hurt you.
I'll catch up to
Please.
you. Go! You hear glass shatter and shuffling. You hear the sound of fabric tearing.
Can we just talk,
Do I hear that too?
I mean, it's not like they're stealthy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stop the cooking, whatever is going on there.
Yeah, the fire's
It
off.
shouldn't take that
It's-
much.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
then
the
I'm going
fire's
to go see what that sound was.
Try and corral them.
As you walk into the door frame, the glass window, you just see the best a zombie can do. It's kind of like trying to fall out the window. The glass actually shreds some of their flesh. The problem is, even though the older woman got out, this window frame is just not lower enough for the two youngins to get out. But they're definitely in the process of trying to shamble their way out. Grognar and Kane.
Good, give me time to think about what.
Yeah, I need time to think too.
I had a whole like thought process on how to explain it to Thalia, like the way the kid sees the undead. But then she agreed to like let it go through Asher's way, and I was like, well, fuck, there goes that entire thought process.
Well, what is Grognar thinking now?
Grognar will just like look at Kane like, do we go in, old man? Asher didn't call for us.
We're already inside. We're already inside.
I thought we were at the door.
You're just
No,
inside
we're
the
in
door.
we're in the living room.
Yeah.
Like we see Asher with the kid, and we heard the zombies going outside, and we saw Thalia turn off the boiling water.
I kind of shrug. Old man, Thalia, Asher.
Grog.
I think we need to
Nope.
just let them.
Grog, go try and calm the kid down.
I don't know if the kid's gonna like this. I really don't.
You have the highest charisma. That's why.
Yeah, cast friends.
I
or
have a
some shit.
15.
Highest.
Asher has an 8.
I have a 12. So
Fuck, I do have the highest charisma. God damn it, guys.
You and Dillinger have the highest.
we already
charisma.
had this conversation.
Like, I knew this going into this. Like, Grognar needs to be the one to try see if he can get into the kid.
I can't persuade. I can only lie and intimidate.
You can still persuade. You're still good at
Yeah.
it. You're just
You
not.
don't
You
have
still get a plus
proficiency.
2 to
I
those
don't have
persuasion rolls.
proficiency.
Yeah, that's what I said. You just don't get proficiency. You still get a +2 to it. It's
Yeah.
better than my shit.
Yeah, it's better than mine.
Fine, fuck.
Well, I have a +2 to persuasion because I'm proficient in it, but still.
Grognar will still say what he said. I believe we should leave them alone. Kid will
That's
not
right.
listen now.
That's right. Leave me alone. Let me go.
Let's just go.
As that commotion's happening, Kane, I want to hear your 2 cents on the matter.
Kane's got to deal with the cat right now.
Grog? Yes. Asher's cat decided to jump up on my chest.
He's
It's
frightened.
purring.
That's a good idea. Go get the cat.
Grognar. We need... There's something more going on here. A kid just doesn't come across powers to raise the dead.
You are
I
correct.
think You need to talk to him to calm him down.
He will
You
not
need to
calm
find
down
out.
until we leave the house.
He's not going to calm down till we leave the farm, period, but we need information from him.
Young boy, if we promise to leave and never return, will you tell us where you got the necklaces?
Right in the middle of
Ragnar,
your
if
sentence,
you make that promise,
as you make that statement, the child would just spit in your direction. It hits you on your arm. Get the fuck out of my house! You'll ruin everything. I mean, let's be real. He just witnessed his dad getting murdered. There's no negotiating with this kid right now.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
we have to leave. He's not gonna calm down.
Yeah,
He
that's
will
what...
not listen to reason. We will go. Come on, let him be.
Ragnar, if you make that promise, you make it alone. I cannot allow this to go unanswered.
Thalia, if
God
you do so much
damn
as lay a single hand on any part of this family, I will murder your entire church. I will leave the Greenskin Army.
Wow.
Grog, what
Wow.
I'm
What
going
the
to.
fuck, bro?
I am going to. I hate to do it, but I know Thalia's backstory.
the fuck?
That statement will not go very well. So I would like to give you the opportunity to rephrase that last sentence, please.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
To prevent the sanctity of the future game tables.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me put it this way. Grognar's gonna keep the sentence the way it was, but he will finish it with this. I had to watch my whole family be murdered for just being orcs. I will not let someone else have their family murdered just for being undead, even though they do not see them that way.
I'll let that one slide.
But he threatened the church. I can't not.
He's clearly
I have
speaking
to
from an
do
emotional state.
Even Asher's gonna chime in when we said murder the church and is like, Grog, you're already on thin ice. Like that phrase is a little too far. I can at least understand where Thalia's coming from. And I can kind of understand where yours is coming from. But remember, you made me promise not to kill all the orcs, including the women and children. There's no way in hell I'm going to let you get by with saying you're going to murder a whole church.
You'd hear
It's just
I
fun
will drop you.
you'll hear a thud
Rob.
as one of the children has made their way outside the window.
Grognar started walking out towards the wagon.
Okay? As you
Because he
walk
knows that if he keeps talking, he's just gonna cause more problems.
As you walk out, Eustace, you still with us?
Yeah, is my spell ready yet?
No. This is all happening like within a 5-minute time frame. However, what you would hear and see is a zombified woman falling out of a broken glass window. Shortly after, a child, as they stand up and begin to walking towards the field.
So they're walking out towards us that we can see
They're
them clearly?
walking in a random direction. The field is pretty big. It actually is like 40% of the angle they could have chosen.
I hate to
Jesus.
pause this. Just imagine like Eustace like, oh, those are fucking zombies. Fucking snipes them
Yeah,
and
fucking
just
fireball.
dead. It's like this entire interaction
Send a
between
fireball on the house.
Just is completely mute because he just fucking destroys everything.
You know, Eustace is just gonna go right inside, and as I pass by, I'm like, I'll take care of. I can't move my damn character. Eustace is gonna go inside. I'll take care of this investigation. You guys get those zombies. Do not let them leave.
Finally, we agree on something, and I'm gonna start going outside.
I say get them, not kill them.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna kill them.
So Eustace,
And I'm just gonna hard cast detect magic from the center of this house.
that's great. As you cast detect magic, the altar in the corner, something on it seems to be glowing. Then as you get closer, the line of sight changes, and you see along the side of the bedpost there are little trinkets, about 5 of them, They seem to be in the shape of little animals. A frog, a goat, a giraffe, whatever. And they're little trinkets about the size of my necklace, as if they were necklace ornaments. They seem to glow as well. The one thing on the altar as you scan around is in the center of this chicken that's splayed open, and the heart of this chicken is still beating. The heart seems to glow magically.
Guys, we have a. Who is this kid? Bring him in here.
Who is this kid?
I love that. We're all having like this conflict of morality here, and then he's just looking at everything objectively, like, this is not right.
Logically, Asher understands this is fucked up.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
having a moral dilemma right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Me and Asher are two separate sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
I just love uses. Who the fuck is this kid? Like,
When he says that, Asher's gonna be like, I have no fucking idea. That's what I'm trying to find out.
I'm gonna collect the trinkets that are glowing, and if it's just the chicken heart that's glowing magic, I'm just gonna use my mage hand to go and grab it. I'm just gonna crush it.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
okay.
That's probably a bad idea.
As your mage hand goes in and lifts this chicken heart, the chicken heart is still attached with veins and arteries and stuff, and it kind of snaps it off, and the chicken begins to kind of spew blood in places as it kind of flutters a little bit and then dissipates and dies. Remember, one of the zombie children are also still in this room as they're trying to escape. As your mage hand goes, what color is your mage hand?
It just looks like a normal hand from a white person.
Okay, as your white mage hand goes, and because your mage hand is kind of corporeal, the goo and the blood on the inside of this thing just spews over the floor. The heart's glow of magic begins to fade and no longer glows as the heart remnants just fall to the floor. The child in the room stops moving and turns to you and lunges for you.
Do I get a reaction?
No. Your reaction was crushing the heart.
Asher's holding him.
Hold on. Would a 15 to hit? No, this is not the kid.
No, this is the zombie
this
kid.
is
The
the
heart,
kid.
the heart
okay,
was
okay.
what was keeping them under his control,
Yeah.
and now they're savage zombies.
Now, would a 15 to hit?
Can I shield it?
I mean, yeah. You can, it's a reaction, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll shield it.
Boom.
Doesn't hit.
This creature lunges towards you. What are you gonna do?
Also, I blocked the hit. Now it's my turn.
I mean, yeah, because everyone else is out there. This is literally happening in the split moment. They're not in a position to react at the moment.
I'll misty step outside.
Okay. Poof. You misty step outside next to the other two.
And I'm gonna yell, guys, the zombies are hostile now. My bad. Get the kid out of here.
Fuck.
Almost as effective as a fireball.
So
Yeah.
Grognar, as all this is happening on the inside, obviously you're walking towards the cart and you see lady and younger child kind of trying to zombie run away. As that's happening, they turn and start heading in your direction. They're like 10 feet away from you at this point. And it looks like they're coming right for you with their hands kind of out to try to grab you. And that was you, Grognar.
Yeah. Was not expecting this.
Me either.
Yeah.
I'll just shout, this is why you do not fuck with what magic is around. And I feel bad for this kid, so very bad.
We all do.
I question whether Thalia does.
Dahlia, I
Thalia is just driven by, what's the word?
Duty.
Duty. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, so what are you gonna do, Grognar?
I linked Shatter in chat.
Oh, you're gonna shatter them. Absolutely. What kind? That's a deck
Or-
save.
Con save.
Con save. I mean, these guys are shit con.
DC 13.
Yeah, they both fail. You don't even have to
10
roll
damage.
damage. How do you destroy these entities?
I'll say a prayer to Lord Karam to guide their souls so that way one day they can see the boy again. And they just basically at atomic level just
They explode
God.
like Dr. Manhattan.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Kaboom! You see in this explosion the necklace kind of fly in the air, both of them, and they kind of wrap and twist, and you see tss, pop, and the misty wisps flying to the sky.
he continues walking towards the wagon.
Asher and Thalia, you would see a young child coming out of the doorway, start lunging in your direction. And before you make your reaction, you would hear, Dory, no! Dory, no!
Do it, Thalia.
Do it.
Yeah, Asher's realized this shit's went tits up and is just like, fuck.
In one clean motion, out of the sheath, upward slash, and just that's the finishing blow. Or do you want me to roll damage?
You
or-
don't even have to roll, man.
Okay, okay.
This is thematically appropriate. Shink! This creature...
And I'm going to. Yeah. Carry on with that.
No, please, go ahead.
So once it happens, I'm gonna like pause for a second after the cut, and there's gonna be like an audible sigh
And
before I sheath, and I'm just gonna walk out the door.
if I can do something
Yeah.
as well,
So,
whenever she goes to slash the kid, I try and turn the boy so that way he doesn't see his little brother get killed.
you slash this zombie child vertically, and it happens in such a manner, and your duty having been executed, the child literally just kind of like, and even in zombie form, just kind of like, and then the necklace shatters, at least a little bulb at the bottom shatters, the wisp, and almost as if this child watched its wisp go away, it then peels open like a banana and lands on the ground. That's where we're going to end our session tonight, guys.
No.
Oh,
It's almost 10 o'clock, or
Wow.
11 o'clock.
Wow.
I gotta unleash the fireball on the house, man.
So
Come
let
on.
me kill the stream. We could have our after action report.